Fire for your mind. The Kosher Clinician.
When men fail to lead, the children rebel and the women take over.
My perfect man would be a tall, black stallion. He loves to cook because I'm not really a good cook, so that's his thing. He loves driving. He loves driving the kids to school in the morning. He's just really, really hands-on. With my kids. He's sterile because he can't have kids of his own, so he really cherishes mine. He's funny. We do movie quotes all the time. Every time we go around, we just laugh and do karaoke. He's smart. He is very good with the money. He takes care of all that, and he just lets me, make the beds and just do me.
I'm just
nigga ass, loser ass nigga.
Your video with comments about a
He's
certain
a loser.
other female.
Just to let you niggas know, we don't need y'all. We want y'all, but we don't need you.
20 years later.
Our black men, we want all y'all back. Because we love you, we see you, kings. And most importantly, we need you. And most importantly, we need you.
And most importantly, we need you.
You can't.
If you a that's for the streets.
You can't delete the ski. You can't.
Hit that like button and share this stream if you're not a beta male.
Fall comes to us in its own time. Fighters keepers, losers we.
Find a better one.
Cognitive dissonance is a condition that happens for a myriad of reasons. Many times in modern America, men and women often do one of the following. They deny the evidence. They become enraged when you present them with the evidence. They argue to ad hominem attacks, meaning they attack the messenger instead of the message. And they will fight you or flee because they cannot hear what you are saying. And conditions such as this, tied into cognitive dissonance, often happens to those that have or lack self-awareness. They stay in a perpetual cycle of arrested development, exhibited by this.
It's a hard thing to admit, but it's understandable why they would choose to go their own way. And that's what's scary, is there's actually a rational reason why they would do that.
Men going their own way. And you can think what you want about it, but this is a really big problem for women, for us, for our future, for families, for you to find a partner. If a population of good men are walking away because they're fed up with women.
If you're being told all your life that you are bad and wrong just for being a man, and that you have toxic masculinity for being a man, and that, you know, women, there's this famous expression that, you know, a woman needs a man just like a fish needs a bicycle. And that men are basically useless, and that men are terrible, and that, you know, women are superior.
Our society is very callous towards men. The only message most men hear in the world is that they're a bumbling buffoon. The TV shows are full of idiot men. Commercials show men as buffoons. The society is against them. All they hear about is what idiots men are.
It's the mass of women that are taking over the culture and representing women. They're loud, they're mean, they say they want equality. Why are they not protesting in the streets for the changing the laws for alimony or child support or child custody? Because they don't want equality, they want superiority.
The male gender has more of a slave state, and it's because men are now subjugated to the law and to women, and nobody really believes it except the men who go through, say, the court. But most men think that they're exempt from that until they end up in a bad situation.
So for a lot of the men, and a lot of them have gotten screwed over in terrible relationships and divorces and gotten their kids taken away from them. So it's an understandable response.
In the United States of America, as a man, you can't speak up. I think most women tend to be very, I'm stereotyping, but they tend to be more collectivist. They tend to sort of be more in that socialist mindset. So I don't know that you're going to see a huge change. I think the change will have to come from men.
The lives of women will not change until the men get the opportunity to also examine and define and change their lives. In many ways, I sometimes think that the 20th century was the century where the women made all these massive changes, and the 21st century will be the changes that the men will make, partly in adapting to the changes that the women have done.
And those men are doing something about it. They're saying, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm not getting married, or I'm divorced. They don't sit around just trying to live their life through women. They actually have lots of hobbies. They go out, they buy that land you were talking about. They're out there getting motorcycles. They're having a good time, and they're enjoying life without having to deal with the stress of the women and the society that tells them they have to have a woman in their life.
How would you feel? I mean, you know, you're not going to feel that attracted to a woman or or care to be loving towards her or romantic towards her. So this men going their own way is a reaction to that. I really think it's a rational reaction to that. Men are finally like, hey, we've given you all you want. You know, you are equal in every way, and then you're still shaming us.
Fire for your mind. Kosher Clinician.
If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues, absent fathers who miss you, mama drama don't kiss you, all a part of the ritual, this is how they get you, separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to, damn, lovers, haters acting like vultures, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is Kosher Clinician. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Clinician. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Clinician. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Clinician. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen.
Testing. If you guys can hear me, hit one. Hit one if you can hear me. One if you can hear me. Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me, Rhonda? If you can hear me, hit one. Thank you, dear. I appreciate it, Rhonda. Appreciate it, Miss Payne. So, guys, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna chop it up, guys. Thank you for tuning in. And I've been working busily behind the scene, guys. Trying to do some work for the brothers and also for women that want to understand where men are coming from. I recreated a new banner, and I'm going to show it to you guys in a minute. And I've just been busy behind the scenes, guys, working and grinding, and trying to get better content for the brothers while being a busy therapist. So that's my new banner. I hope you guys like it. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it, man. I got a little bit of that kosher swag to it, you know, just something slight, you know. Y'all, if y'all like the new banner, hit one. But this is what I'll be using now. The Kosher Clinician. If you look at my logo has me with a mask on. The mask symbolizes censorship. The finger symbolizes censorship. And then also the fire behind the logo symbolizes the burning flag of America. And I did that intentionally, guys, because we live in a time in the world where masculinity is being under attack. Traditional women that stand in alliance with masculinity, they're being under attack as well. And, you know, I've always said before in the past that if women want to get the best outcomes that they want, they got to understand what men want. For all too long and all too often, the world keeps telling men what the standard is instead of some women becoming the standard for masculine men. And so I think now, guys, with the advent of social media, with the advent of men beginning to speak out, I think this is the first time probably in humanity or in history where you have a group of men coming out talking about issues concerning masculinity, but also issues concerning men. And one could argue that there are some that have negative visceration for women, and that's not what I'm here for. My channel focuses on male issues, but also my channel hopes to give women encouragement those women that are listening to understand what masculine men are looking for. All too often in the past, women have told men what the standard is instead of becoming the standard. As I told you guys before in the past, women of past understood that they wanted quality men. They had to become the standard. But sadly now, so many women think that they can get what they want from a man without asking a man what he wants. I did a show in the past with, I can't think of the young lady, Anita Stoppmeyer, shout out to her. And when I did the show, the essence of the show was talking about black love without consent. And I'm thinking about writing a book called Black Love Without Consent, because the world has forgotten to consent to the black man and ask him what he wants. The world has forgotten to consent to American men and ask them parenthetically what they want. I see it all the time, guys, in couples therapy when I talk with clients and when I see clients. You have a cadre of men that are suffering in silence. They don't know what their worth is. They minimize their worth. And the market, and the dating market has gotten so horrible now. There's so many men don't know what their worth is, and they compromise their power. They compromise their masculine sovereignty. And they just do just enough to appease the fickle whims of modern women instead of standing on business and doing what's best for themselves. And so you can't change until you change the law in your mind. Shout out to Mr. Palmer. You can't change until you change the law in your mind. Relationships, guys, are about power symmetry. In a good relationship, the woman benefits and the man benefits. But I had an epiphany years ago that so many men have been taught and conditioned to minimize what their worth is for the sake of the woman. And that's not consistent with history. That's not consistent with theology. I've said it before in the past that the bride, she prepared herself for the bridegroom. But see, modern women, a lot of them, instead of becoming the standard, they want to tell the man what the standard is. And that's a problem, more or less. Men determine what the standard is because men are the sellers. The woman, she is the buyer. And so, no, men are the buyers. No, men are the sellers and women are the buyers. Now, listen, if a man doesn't have his stuff together, if a man is not professionally sound, if a man is unfit, if a man doesn't have the proper financial resources to acquire a woman, many times in relationships, that woman can tell that man no. But I told you guys before in the past that a man that's a one is not the same as a woman that's a one. Because that man that's a one, if that man chooses not to marry that woman that's a one, she can never get married. So if every man got married today in America that's black, there would still be 20% of women without husbands. So you can't go in the dating market thinking that you can dictate to the man what the standard is going to be instead of becoming the standards. And one of the greatest fallacies that I see, guys, in current relationships is this spurious notion that by default, a woman is the prize in the relationship, and that's a myth. Men and women both have prize-worthy variables, but she's not the prize by default. She's not the prize by default unless that man sees worth inside of her that will make him say, you know what, this woman is going to be my queen. I value her, and she's going to be the woman that I plan to put a ring on her finger. See, women years ago understood that they had to become the standard in order to get the ring. But see, modern women, incessant narcissism, social media has created a monster that thinks she's better than a man by default. But she can tell a man parenthetically what she wants in the relationship, height, status, phallus, certain benchmarks, and that's her right to say that. But when a man says, okay, I want a woman that's fit, I want a woman that's not overweight, I want a woman that's feminine, I want a woman with a low body count, I want a woman that a low body count to virgin, I want a woman that has emotional regulation, I want a woman that don't have kids, I want a woman that want to get with my program, then all of a sudden he's misogynistic. And it's problematic because what it does, it creates a false dichotomy between the genders. And so, shout out to my man, Dr. L podcast. I saw the show, guys, by Dr. L, and, this is no disparaging to the young lady by the name of Trey. But I was somewhat perturbed by Trey because Trey does what a lot of modern women do in relationships. they trying to tell men what the standard is instead of becoming the standard. And see, the problem with some older women is that some older women are highly delusional. Older women, some of them are highly delusional because they think that they still have the same power as younger women, and they don't have the same power. And they all use the same foolish talking points, guys. They all use the same old foolish talking points. Shout out to International Quiet Storm. No doubt, man. They all use the same old tired talking points. And those same tired talking points is this. They assert and assume that they have more power than the man. And the reason why they assert and assume they have more power than the man is because the world has not taught women to value heteronormative masculinity. But let me tell you guys a secret. You create the monster that you complain about because you haven't done the work, the internal work, to understand what your value is. You don't ever let a woman determine what your value is if you've done the work. Your job is to sell a woman a package. And she can either buy the package or she can keep it moving. That's her right to move on. But you never minimize your worth as a man for the sake of appeasing a woman. Let me be real clear, because a lot of times in these conversations, people don't quite understand what I stand for, what I believe in. I'm doing a lot of new rebranding on my channel. And while I'm going to talk about men issues, I'll be talking about relationships periodically. I'm going to also focus on world events and different other things, because as you guys know, I've been in YouTube for 4 years, but YouTube is a hard business. And this is not my bread and butter. Thank God I'm a licensed therapist. I work for myself. Because right now having to rely on YouTube, I would be poor. I would be on the streets begging for money. But YouTube is okay for now. I enjoy the conversations with men. Some of the men that are listening, non-diagnostic clinical consultations. You need to get a clinical consultation, and I'm gonna start focusing more on clinical work as it relates to male functioning, and also as it relates to male efficacy. But the problem with older women is that they still think they have the power that they had in their 20s. And you don't have the power, ma'am, that you had in your 20s. We're not trying to make you feel sad, but some call it evolutionary psychology. Men are wired to women with wide hips and perky breasts and fertility and a soft voice and a kind heart. And she's a nurturer. That's what men are wired to. So you can't unwire a man's biology based on your prescription of what you think a man wants. Just like women are wired by a man that can provide for them, a man that can protect them, a man that is tall. Some women like taller men because women want a man they can look up to, a man that's masculine, a man that has cadence in his voice, a man that get things done, a man that has resources. And so what they'll do, they'll use these old crazy talking points by saying y'all are old and old and geriatric and all this foolish mess. And what they don't understand is that an older man is a better man because an older man is a seasoned man. And if that older man works out, we're not talking about old men that don't work out, they don't eat clean, they don't get the rest. We're not talking about them. But I'm talking about the quintessential example of an older man that not only works out, but he eats clean, he's lean, he's fit, his money game is on point, his value system is on point, his masculinity is on point, he's not wavering in his convictions, he says what he means what he says, and he dares anybody to challenge his masculine points. That's what I'm talking about. And so those men have their greater pick of women. I personally don't have an issue with older men being with younger women if they can take care of them. My sister, her husband is 17 years older than her. He's retired military, he makes good money. My other sister, her husband's about 8 to 10 years older than her. My mother and father were 7 years apart. My daughter and her husband were about 14 years apart. I don't have an issue with older men, but you got to be able to take care of that woman. You got to make sure you eat right. You got to make sure that you have a vision. Because see, some are trying to shame you and say, ooh, it's dirty that older men like younger women. Listen, my wife looks good for her age, but I told my wife if I was a younger single, I would date a younger woman. I won't be with a woman my age. What am I going to do with a woman my age? I won't deal with a woman my age. And that's not to begrudge a woman my age per se, because there are some women in their late 40s and early 50s that look good. But I'm saying for my male biology, I'm more wired to a younger woman. Because see, the problem is The false trope the older women tell you is that she wants you for your money, but they all want you for your money. So this is how men look at it. Do I settle for an older woman that got all these extraneous standards and her beauty is constantly fading? Or do I settle for a younger woman that even though she wants money as well, but her facial symmetry and her biology is more complementary to me than an older woman whose beauty is fading? All the beauty is going to fade because according to scripture, charm is vain and beauty is deceitful. But the problem now is that some older women try to come in and tell men what the standard is instead of becoming the standard. I like what the great teacher Nicodemus did when he came to the master teacher Jesus. He came and asked Jesus, he said, Rabbi and teacher, what must I do to enter the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus told Nicodemus he must be born again. And I say that to the modern woman. You must be born again if you want to come into the kingdom of a masculine man that can provide, protect, and hold you down. But many times I talk to men in therapy and private practice, they talk about how a lot of times they feel invisible in relationships. They feel like their needs and mess are often minimized. They feel like they don't have a voice. They feel like they got to always placate to the whims of a woman. They feel like they're not honored in their homes, they're not valued in their homes. And what a lot of modern women don't understand is that the thing that men need the most is love, adulation, and respect. Respect is the fuel that helps a man become mobilized and keep going. You guys will also be surprised at the amount of men that are in sexist relationships. They're not getting intimacy, and they're suffering on the inside because their women don't take care of them. And listen, I know some people are not used to men having these talking points. They're not used to it. This is the first time the world has actually heard what traditional masculine men want, and they're not used to men beginning to speak out and say what they want, mean what they say, and they're not used to it. And so it sounds very aggressive. It sounds very draconian. It sounds very hurtful because they're not used to hearing men say what they want in relationships. And so once again, you have to become the standard if you want to get with a quality man. You got to become the standard if you want to get with the quality man. But you don't get to dictate to men what the standard is. You will never find another time in human history where women dictate to men what the standard is without coming the standard for a man. You'll never see that in the annals of modern history. Women have always became the standard. She became the standard, but she didn't tell the man what the standard is because watch this: the masculine is doing, and the feminine is being. I'm gonna say it again. The masculine is doing, and the feminine is being. You have to be what that man needs you to be in order to have the polarity of the masculine to be attracted to you. But it's highly masculine when women try to tell men what they are and what men should do instead of becoming what that man wants them to be. And so what happens many times, women come into relationships trying to dictate to men what the standard is, and what they don't understand what they're doing. They're projecting out of their insecurities. They're projecting from their ego. They're projecting from a schema because they can't look at reality and realize that they have gotten older because those same women, when they were in their 20s, they didn't give those men the time of day. Those men were invisible to them in their 20s. Those men didn't have the money. They didn't have the status because men have to earn their status. We have to earn our status. Now, we could be born with intangibles like height, and we can be athletes and all that. But men in general have to earn their position in life. Whereas a lot of times women are born with what men want, which is primarily first her physicality. But there's a lot more nuance in her physicality, but her physicality is a correlating talking point that a lot of men look for. And so I want this show to be intentional, guys. And do me a favor, guys. Y'all share the stream. Hit the like button. Donate to the channel, guys. These donations have been extremely low. I'm here lately, guys. And y'all donate to the channel if y'all like what I'm doing. I'm trying to do some new things. I'm trying to do some new branding. And I'm trying to become more intentional, guys, because I want to see you men win. I want to see good men get with good women that can help them become the best version of themselves. I'm not talking about women that come into men's spaces with ulterior motives. I'm talking about women that are genuine. They're trying to understand men. They're trying to learn, and they're trying to become the better versions of themselves. And if you guys know me, y'all know me that I'm very honest. I think sometimes my honesty gets me in trouble. But I don't know no other way, guys, but to be honest. I don't know no other way. I don't believe in lying to folks. I don't believe in lying to women. I don't believe in lying in general. I'm a straight shooter. You ain't got to ever worry about where I'm coming from. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. And I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know, but I'm not. But I'm not doing it to be mean. I'm just honest. I don't mean anything by it. But I don't know no other way but to be, which is honest. So guys, do me a favor, hit the like button, share the stream, and we're gonna get deep into it, guys. We're gonna get deep into it. I'm gonna run a quick clip real quick, and then we're gonna get into this conversation with Trey. But I want to show you guys something real quick, and let's look into it. Hold tight.
Men, if you are watching this short, I'm a queen that is to be worshipped. There will be no 50-50, submission, or serving your needs. You will accommodate me for my time and serve me without question. Does this sound like a modern woman?
And this is what the modern woman has become. The modern woman has become an icon to be venerated. She's become an icon that thinks her needs is better than yours. And see, your grandmothers, guys, was not like this. Your mothers weren't like this in general. Your great-grandma definitely wasn't like that, because women of old understood they had to become the standard instead of thinking that they by default can get what they want from a man. They had to become the standard. But see, I want to challenge some of you men that are listening on today, because it's not necessarily the woman's fault. Some of it is your fault. Some of it is your fault because internally you know what's happening is wrong. But you're a slave to vagina. You're a slave to your carnal flesh. You're a slave because you continue to indignify yourself as a man only for temporary pleasure. And so you can't get the outcomes that you want as a man until you begin to change how you see yourself as a man. See, she's actually waiting for you to become a masculine man. She's waiting for you to tell her no. She's waiting for you to stand on business. She's waiting for you to say, let me go. Women only respect, in general, power and strength. That's how women are wired. Women are wired to respect power and strength. But when you come to a woman and being weak and not standing firm in your masculinity, then not only do you not only compromise your masculinity, you minimize your masculinity for the sake of staying in that relationship. Shout out to my man, Anthony Shaw, for that $10 super chat. Thank you, brother Anthony Shaw. As brother Anthony Shaw is the #1 sponsor of the stream. Shout out to brother Anthony Shaw. As Anthony Shaw is the #1 sponsor of the stream. Guys, don't let Anthony Shaw be the only one. Show some love, guys, because I'm doing some new things. I'm trying to give you guys some fresh kosher swag. And shout out to brother Anthony Shaw, as he is the #1 sponsor of this stream. Thank you, brother Shaw.
It's the money.
Shout out to brother Anthony Shaw, as he's the #1 sponsor of the stream. But let's get back into it, guys. You can look at what I'm trying to convey to you, men, from an evolutionary psychology perspective, but also you can look at it from a theological perspective as well. In the annals of theology, theology postulates that woman was made for man. Man wasn't made for woman. And so therefore, as woman was made for man, you should never be worshiping a woman. Now listen, you got to listen clearly. I didn't say you should love your woman. I didn't say you should die for a righteous woman that's serving you and meeting your objectives. I didn't say none of that. But you should never worship a woman. And the problem in modern relationships now, guys, is that men have been conditioned to worship women. Women are powerful beings. The allure of a woman, the smell of a woman, she can be a powerful thing. But consistent with theology says, cast not thine strength to a woman. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, ask Samson. Ask Samson, because Samson told Delilah all his secrets. But see, if Samson was synchronized as a man, and if Samson was grounded and rooted in doing what was important as it relates to the Most High, then Samson would have never failed from his purpose. His purpose was to be a Nazarite. He was supposed to be clean and holy because he was in the book of Judges. He was supposed to be a judge for Israel. But he got besmirched by the allure of a woman. And listen, women are beautiful. Women are powerful. It's not like a woman. Women are some of the most hypnotic creatures in the world. It's nothing like a woman. But you should never esteem a woman above your purpose as a man. That should never happen. It should be God first, your purpose second, and then your woman. Your woman should be a complement to your purpose, but your woman should never supersede your purpose. And that's why when I hear women saying, I hear women say, I want a man to worship me. No, you should never worship a woman. Because consistent with theology says that you should love the Lord thy God with all your heart, mind, soul, and spirit. Not a woman. Because see, women come and go, but your purpose and being focused on God is superior to a woman. A woman's supposed to come into your life and to accentuate your life and to help push you to greatness. But see, the problem in modern relationships now, women don't want to work. They don't want to work. They don't want to earn her position on a man's team. She just thinks by default that she can come into a man's life. She can challenge a man's position. And then men got to always be quiet. Let me tell you something that I don't like, guys. Because see, I'm a straight shooter. A lot of times, some women come into the space to learn. Shout out to those good sisters that come into the space to learn. But some come into the space to derail the conversation because they want to dictate to the men what the standard is. Once again, and this is a conversation you might have never heard before. She must become the standard instead of telling men what the standard is. I'm going to say it again. She must become the standard instead of telling men what the standard is. She must become the standard. You don't get to tell men what the standard is, ma'am. You must become the standard. And men, you must do psychological repair to understand what that standard is. I've said it before in the past. I'm going to say it again now. You know, when I went to Punta Cana, DR, doctor, I got trained in Gottman in marriage therapy, and I got trained in the Gottman method. And I'm not fully certified yet, but Dr. Gottman talked about something called limerence. And limerence more or less embarks or hearkens into red flags that you see. And if a woman comes into a relationship trying to tell you what the standard is, that's a red flag. Because either that woman has emotional issues, or either that woman is masculine, or that woman is projected from some kind of trauma, or that woman is highly indoctrinated. A woman don't get to tell you what your standard is. She must become the standard. Watch this. If a man is selling a car, and that man knows that car has high value, and it depends on how you see it, the man puts the proposition out on front. The buyer determines if, let's reverse it. It's the man, the seller, or the buyer. I want to make sure I'm saying this right. So the man is the buyer and the woman is the seller. The woman got to sell a man a product that man feels like is applicable to him. But at the same time, the buyer got to have the resources to get what the seller is trying to sell to him. So a man's greatest asset is his resources, but also his masculinity, his intentionality, and his leadership skills. But once again, the seller keeps trying to tell the buyer what the market is, and that's a problem. The seller keeps trying to tell the buyer what the market is. You can't sell men subpar stuff and expect to get a masculine man. Listen, it takes men years. You know how long it took me to become who I am? It took a lot of years, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of sweat and tears, a lot of setbacks, a lot of pain. It took me years to become the man that I am. But see, the world is not ready to hear these kind of messages because for so long, the world hasn't heard what men want. And so there was a song by the OJs back in the 70s, and the song said, you got to give the people what they want. You got to give men what they want if you want a wholesome man, and if you want a wholesome relationship, you got to give him what he wants. Because the scripture said that the bride prepare herself for the bridegroom. But once again, you got some older women coming into relationships. They've already given their virtue away. They're not as pretty as they used to be. And we're not saying that older women can't be attractive, but an older woman is not the same as a younger woman. It's just not. It is what it is. Just like a poor man, a broke man in his 20s is not the same as a seasoned older man that's mature, a silver fox, got money and status. It's just not the same. And so once women understand that, then they can begin to corral themselves and have the emotional maturity to understand that older men with money and status don't have to settle for an older woman. You're not gonna come into the relationship and tell that man that he's gonna pay all bills. No, I'm not. We're not paying all no bills, ma'am. You ain't 20 and you ain't young no more. We're not paying all bills. I'm not saying I'm gonna pay some bills, but you're not gonna tell me what I'm gonna pay because you're the seller. And I'm the buyer. You can't sell a 1978 Corolla and then tell me that you want full price for it. It doesn't work that way. That's illogical. And so you must become what the man expects you to be. But see, the problem with the modern man is that modern men have been used to buying secondhand cars. You've been used to buying lemons and secondhand cars because you have low self-esteem. You don't know what your value is. You don't know what your worth is. You've been abused. You've been rejected. And you just settle for mediocrity instead of saying this is what the standard is. Either you become the standard or you can be left behind. But see, modern women always project grandiosity, but inwardly, a lot of times they project their insecurities. And I'm going to show it to you guys in a minute. But I want you guys to listen to what this woman is saying because a lot of modern women tell men that they need to worship them, and we should never worship women. We should worship the Most High.
Laughing wickedly.
Social media convinced every woman she's a queen deserving of worship just for existing, not for being exceptional, not for contributing value, just for being. They've been told they're prizes to be won, not partners to build. The decline in traditional traits isn't about wanting women barefoot in kitchens. It's about basic adult competence disappearing while expectations skyrocket. My grandfather's generation? Those women could manage households, raise children, stretch budgets, create meals from nothing. Today, many can't boil water but expect you to be Gordon Ramsay, their therapist, and Warren Buffett combined.
And they wonder why men want to be 50-50 in 2025 and beyond. Men are not getting what they got years ago, and it's time for modern women to up their ante or be left behind. So men are not getting what they got 20 years ago. And so guys, it's up to you to start demanding more if you've done the work. Guys, do me a favor, share the stream, hit the like button, guys. Share the stream. Shout out to my man, brother, I pray you direct a seminary one day. The men in the leading church house are lost. Yes, thank you, MK Podcast. Yeah, well, listen, you're correct. I appreciate that. That was very kind words. As you guys know, I was called in my 20s to preach the gospel. I was a church superintendent in my 20s, so theology comes easy to me because I know it's part of my spiritual calling. I'm not one of these self-made pastors or preachers or whatever. It's just inside of me. And I'm making a journey back to faith. I'm trying to get closer back to God, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I really appreciate that, brother. Those are kind words. But we're about to get into the show, guys. And guys, do me a favor, hit the like button, share the stream. Shout out to the brother that donated. He's the #1 sponsor. Hit the like button, guys, once again, and also share the stream. All right, guys. So once again, she must become the standard instead of telling you what the standard is.
Men.
She must become the standard instead of telling you guys what the standard is. And once again, guys, I wanted to do this show because I saw, shout out to my man, Dr. L's podcast. I saw his podcast. And this is not a rebuke to the lady named Trey. This is not, I don't have no issues with her, but I was just perturbed a little bit by her position, her assumption that she can get this, to tell me what the standard is. But I want to show you guys some. Let me actually play through some of these clips because modern narcissism, it is the death kill that's destroying a lot of relationships. It's a death kill. It's destroying a lot of relationships. It's destroying a lot of relationships. And it's made a lot of men feel like that they are less than. And once again, men have more power than they realize. If you're a good woman, if you are a good woman, if you're a good woman, and if you put in the work, then you can get a quality man. But you got to earn it.
His ex's dating profile after their breakup. She listed her requirements. Over 6 feet 2 inches, makes $150,000 plus, owns property, no kids, willing to travel. Her offerings: good vibes and sarcasm. She's 35, in debt, can't cook, has 2 kids from different fathers. But in her mind, she's the catch. This isn't delusional confidence, it's societal programming gone haywire.
Wow.
Men today face an impossible choice.
And men, you don't want to be in these type of predicaments. Set your standards high, raise the bar, identify what your purpose is, and watch your life. So guys, you got to become the standard. You got to become the standard. And you can't keep getting caught up in this nonsense where women keep telling you what your worth is. Let me show you guys something, because a lot of folks don't believe it. But it ain't nothing like an older man. It ain't nothing like a seasoned older man. You see these young brothers, these brothers up here. Shout out to Dr. L and this guy Lamar. It's not like a gray beard, guys. A man that getting his early 40s, late 40s to early 50s, seasoned, making more money than we ever made in our lives. We know what we want. We're not going to settle. And it's a powerful thing. But once again, there's a percentage of women that try to shame men out of what their standard is. And I'm not talking about quality women. You know, good women understand that they got to do the work to get quality men. But I'm talking about those that try to shame men out of what their standard is. And my goal job is to encourage you guys and to help you know what your standard is. But you can't know it, guys, until you do the work. So therefore, I want you guys to get in contact with me at kosherclinician@gmail.com for a non-diagnostic clinical consultation. My man International Quiet Storm have done it. Some of the other brothers have done it. So I want you guys to get a non-diagnostic consultation and start setting the standards that you deserve as men. Are you a victim of brokenness and despair? A broken man is a hopeless man, and a hopeless man is a very dangerous man. Many times, many of you young men that are listening come from homes that are very toxic and very dysfunctional. And because of that, many of you have deferred your power in many ways to the point it's led over into your social life, and many times led over into your relationships. If you guys are dealing with mental health pathologies, conscious and unconscious, come see me at kosherclinician@gmail.com. That's kosherclinician@gmail.com. It's important that you deal with your mental health in order to be a better person for yourself, your loved ones, and also your community. But because mental health is often stigmatized, many of you often suffer in silence. Don't be a victim in silence. And see me once again at kosherclinician@gmail.com. And I need you guys to remember this. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. There are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become an optimized male. And male mental health is one of those elements that's paramount to the functioning of a man. Be well. All right, guys, let's get into it, man. Shout out to Dr. L podcast. We're going to chop it up. And then, guys, I'm going to also show you a second part about how older men are actually venerated. Women are really hardwired for leadership. The scripture said that the sons of God are actually waiting for the creations, waiting for the sons of God to manifest themselves in the earth. Women are actually waiting for men to be leaders. Women have an internal clock. They say, I'm waiting for that man to stand on business and to challenge me and say no. She don't like it, but her evolutionary hardwire, her evolutionary nature can't fight that feminine nature, that masculine nature of a man. Women are actually waiting for men to take a stand and become men again. They're waiting for it. But see, the problem is they want to tell you how to become a man based on how they feel instead of doing the work themselves and learning how to control their behaviors and also control their negative disposition. So let's get into this video with what's the lady's name? This lady, Trade with Dr. L. And once again, this is not me trying to attack this young lady, but I do challenge her talking points, and I challenge her position. Because I would tell Trey that you don't get to tell men what the standard is. You must become the standard. I would tell Trey that a lot of women in their 20s, they had their turns. They were dealing with guys older than them. They didn't give the average guy the time of the day, and that's okay. But you can't be older now and think he will tell a man that he gonna pay all bills. No, ma'am, you're not gonna tell me I'm not paying all those bills. Because all bills were for, what men got in the past was a virgin, wife ready, no kids. So modern women now got virgin standards. They got virgin standards. And I created a term called hoflation. I never heard nobody else say it, but I created a term called hoflation. And hoflation says that I deserve to get what women that have less baggage got. I respect women that have discipline, they respect themselves, and they're striving to get on the man's program. But some of you women, I'm going to start doing some shows about some of you women. You're not ready for a quality man because you struggle with a concept called paranoid persecution. Women have an internal disposition that by default, they think men are dangerous. And because you think men are dangerous, it impedes your responsibility, or it impedes your ability to get on program with a man. Some of you have been traumatized by bad men in the past. You got alpha widowed by a drug dealer or an athlete. And now every man you see it through the lens of your trauma instead of centering yourself and seeing it through the lens of what it should be. And so a lot of times what you think is a red flag, we call that limerence. It's not really a red flag. It's that you're just projecting from your pain because you haven't done the proper work to get the healing that you need. But the sexual revolution destroyed a lot of relationships. Because men and women are not the same. Some say, oh, men and women are not the same, sweetie. We're not the same. We're not wired the same. And all this foolishness about us being the same, we're not the same. You're not minimized from being a woman. A woman's greatest strength is her ability to be feminine. If you don't believe me, you ask Delilah. Delilah took the strongest man in the world, and she got all his secrets because she was a raw feminine woman. So you can't beat men with being masculine. You beat men by being feminine. I'm going to say it again. You don't beat a man by trying to be masculine and telling a man what the standard is. You beat a man by being feminine. And if you're an older woman, charm is vain, meaning charm is vain, and beauty is passing away. But who can find a virtuous woman? But see, the problem is some of you older women are older, and you don't have any charm. You don't have that je ne sais quoi. You don't have any femininity. And so you're coming into the dating market being arrogant, still thinking you're in your 20s, still think you can demand to a man what you want in a relationship. And then you get mad because now men, we got standards. We're not going to lower our standards, especially men that have done the work. Like I said, I told my wife this, and I tell any woman this, if I was a single man, not that I'm looking, because I have to clarify that because you got fools. Oh, he must be, I'm not looking for anything. But I have this conversation with my wife. And I've had this conversation with my dad. And my dad, when he lost my mom, my parents have been married for almost 60 years. Now, my dad is 82 years old. And even my dad said that he don't want he said an old woman. And my dad is old, but my dad said, I don't want a woman my age. So you get mad at men for how we're wired to be. And the reason why a lot of men won't date younger women is because they've been conditioned not to date younger women. But the cosmetic industry is not a male-centered industry. It's women trying to preserve youthfulness. So it's very hypocritical that women get mad at men liking younger women, where a lot of women can't even be their natural self because of their age. That's how hypocritical it is. But guys, do me a favor, hit the like button, share the stream. We're going to go to critique this by Dr. L, and we're going to get deep into it, guys. So hold tight. Let me blow this thing up. And guys, share the stream and donate to the channel. And once again, guys, I'm just raw. I'm not trying to be mean, but men got to stop minimizing their needs and wants because they're afraid how women might feel. Women have to be mature and hear and listening to understand what men are saying instead of listening to respond. You got to be an active listener. I'm not saying that there are not men that don't want to be with women their age. There are some men. But men that got money, power, and status, a lot of times, if they can say, okay, a younger woman versus an older woman, they're going to go with a younger woman. It's a no-brainer. Why would I pay more money for an older woman where I could probably pay less money for a younger woman, or get a younger woman and pay the same price? And then they use the nebulous talking points. They just want you for your money. Well, all women want men for their money. I'm not saying every, and I think that's a myth. Women do want men with money and status, but I'm not going to say that every woman wants an older man for money. And I'm going to prove that later on in the show. They don't all just want men for money. Older men come with wisdom. Older men come with guidance. Older men come with leadership. We know who we are. And, there's another saying to say older men got that seasoned wood. They got that seasoned wood, man. Older men know how to, they know how to work it, especially if they're in good shape and they eat clean. It ain't not like an older man because he knows a woman. Older men are in it, but you can't be an older man that got a pot belly. You got low testosterone. You got a bunch of estrogen in your body. Because I got to start working out more. I put on weight. I'm sort of chunky, man. I need to get my T levels up. I'm working on myself now. But let's get into it, guys. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna break it down. Hold tight. Let's get into it. And guys, share the stream and hit the like button.
That's my man. So, Lamar, what do you think about this?
Well, listen, there's clearly a movement going on that older, mature women are not getting picked by their peer group of men, and now they are going down and trying to play the game that men do. This does not work out for women. You guys can try it, but it does not work out for you because you guys are not built for this. So this will be fun for a little while. Mama Jones has got to be, 60 now?
She older than 60, baby. Come on, I'll be 60 in 4 years.
Okay, let's just say she's 60. Let's just say
she ain't 60 because how old is Jim Jones?
He's probably about 43, 44.
I'm looking this up because Jim Jones.
So let's say this guy is 35. How long does she think that this is? This is a very short season.
Jim Jones is 49, so she got to be going on 70.
That guy's wrong for even wanting that old beat up old kitty. What is attractive for him to go yes? Because her shelf life is done. I mean, she.
All right, we'll get back to that. Trey, what's up? Glad to see you.
Hey,
Thank you so much for joining.
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm good.
I know you.
Shout out
you guys
shout out to my man.
You look fine.
Shout out to my man. I can't think of his name. MK Podcast 8569 for that $10 super sticker. Thank you, MK. Hold tight. MK Podcast 8569. Thank you, sir, for that $10 super sticker, brother. Thank you, sir, for your kindness. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, sir. But I want you guys to listen to this, and we're going to continue to break it down. So I want you guys to listen to it, and we will continue to break it down.
So you joined in pretty early. Tell us your thoughts thus far about what Lamar and I have
feedback.
discussed.
Y'all don't hear that?
No, I don't hear any feedback.
Oh, probably. Hold on. Let me turn off my computer. That's what I hear. Hold on for 1 second.
He said he wants a record deal.
There we go.
AB Media's in the house.
Sorry, y'all.
It's okay.
Hey.
What is going on? How's your sound now? Is it better?
Sounds better, yes.
Okay, very good. Very good. So I wanted to give you a little bit of time. Lamar and I have talked a little bit. I want to hear your discussions about what we have discussed thus far, the videos that we played.
Wait, why do I keep hearing it?
That's right. Sugar Mama Yoli.
Okay, there we go. It was in 2 browsers. I'm like, oh my God. I know I'm sorry. This. I think some of the stuff y'all said was relevant, and some of it was BS.
Okay. What's the BS part? I want to know the BS part.
No, I believe that, there are some women who give bad advice. And unfortunately, that one video where the woman was saying that women are not willing to accept their age, a lot of that is because some of the stuff y'all be saying.
No, it ain't because nothing we say. Baby, you're projecting your insecurities. Those same men, a lot of those men were nobodies until they got their status, until they got their money up. But I think a lot of older women struggle with reality. You got to live in reality. Older, mature women live in reality. You just don't have the same power, the same bargaining power that you had in your 20s. You just don't. Just like younger men didn't have the same bargaining power and they didn't have the same bargaining power as a man that had money. You know, the dope boy, or the guys that were 7 or 8 years older that had the car and had the rims, had the apartment. We had to eat it. But it's not men's attempts to try to make nobody feel a certain way. Men are just telling you what they want and what their standards are. And sometimes these women are internalizing it because they're very unrealistic.
That older women, you know, y'all are done and all of this and all of that. It puts a stigmatism on older women, and it also causes older women insecurities and different things like that when older men say things like that. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? When y'all are saying, oh, the young girls is we on the young girls and this and that, and then you have women on here coming and they trying to compete with these younger girls when they really shouldn't have to. When a woman was saying, if you know who you are intellectually, y'all were agreeing. If you as a 50-year-old woman know who you are intellectually, let me zip myself up for.
I thought you were trying to be young for a minute there. Go ahead.
My 55, no. Listen, one thing about me, I embrace my age. My camera's crazy because it's on my computer camera, but I embrace my age because I'm happy with who I am. I take care of myself. I go to the gym. I try to basically eat right. Right now I'm working, I'm editing and doing stuff, so I look crazy, but I clean up well. So I don't worry about the young girls because they have nothing on me. And men are talking about, you know.
Yeah, but no, Trey, no, since you delusional, you'll never convince me. Listen, a younger woman can do the same thing that you're doing as an older woman. She can work out, she can eat clean, and all of that. And so even because, this woman, Trey, doesn't look bad, but Trey can't tell me that she's the same Trey as she was in her 20s. You can't tell me that the 55-year-old version of Trey is equivalent to the 30-year-old version of Trey. And once again, I'm not here to denigrate this lady. I don't know her. I'm not here to disrespect her. But I'm just challenging her talking points. But it's a total false equivocation. A younger woman that works out, she's feminine, she's fit, she's nurturing, she doesn't have an agenda, she's not arrogant. It's not the same as an older woman. It's just not the same. It's just not. Especially a young woman that never had kids. Her body is tight. And this is no disrespect to an older woman that have had kids and got stretch marks and all that. But my point is, it's just not the same. But see, some of these older women, they have a lot of baggage. They be trying to sell men. They be trying to sell hardworking masculine men nonsense. And it just doesn't work that way. And the quicker women understand that, the better off they'll be, the better off the world will be.
Older women have these requirements and they want men to pay for this and pay for that. So do the young girls. But y'all willing to pay for them, and y'all make all these excuses up of why y'all are willing to pay for them. Oh, they're young and they're vital and this and that and that and this and that. You still giving them your money, so y'all sound like simps and suckers, as my boy Lamar would say, stealing his words. No. So when y'all talk about y'all don't want to put out for older women because older women coming with these demands, younger women are too, and y'all are willing.
But as I said before earlier, guys, a man is wired for a younger woman. We're just wired that way. It is how we're wired. And I'm not going to apologize, and neither should you apologize for your wiring and your biology as a man. Don't ever apologize for that. But what it sounds like to me psychologically, she's projecting her insecurities because she hasn't properly adjusted and realized that there are men that would love to be with her, but they're not necessarily the men that she wants, because women by nature are hypergamous. I created a term called kosher hypergamy, which is fit and proper, and then carnal hypergamy, when women want the best of the best of the best of men at the point of exploitation. Some of these women don't think some of these OGs, some of these OGs know these young women want their money, but you don't think some of these older men are hustling those women too? They're hustling those women. They tell them what they want to hear. The men that understand game, they're not stupid and gullible. So they know that some of these women are in it just for money. But those older men with money and status know at any point he can always replace her. And so she really doesn't have any power if he's a sinner man and know what his worth is. Because women by nature want security and protection. That's in a woman's nature. She wants to be secure. That's why any man that don't take care of his woman or his family, I struggle with it. Because it's in a woman's nature to want security and provision. It's just in her nature. She's wired for that. But Trey is having a schema affliction. And she's trying to tell men what the standard is. And a lot of times these older women got the same standards as younger women. And what older men are saying that with money and status, ma'am, you don't get to command that, ma'am. You are the seller and I'm the buyer. You don't get to tell older men what their standards are. And if older men want to say that I want to date a younger woman, then older men have the power to do that. And men, you got to stop being apologetic in dating what you want to date. Stop being apologetic. But some of these men act like they're scared. They won't say anything. They're always trying to accommodate women in their emotions. She doesn't accommodate you. And I'm not saying you got to be disrespectful, but she doesn't accommodate you when they call you broke and dusty. When they say, you got to pay a certain amount. A woman's not going to tell me what I'm going to pay. You're not going to tell me how much money I'm going to pay. If you're going to be on my program, I'm not paying all bills. It's not because I can't pay all bills, because I could if I wanted to, but I'm not. Because I'm the buyer. And you don't get to tell the buyer what the standard is. You must become the standard. And the standard has passed for some of you women.
To pay for the pussy, excuse me, Lord, for my mouth.
Here we go.
But the fact of the matter is, that's what y'all doing. Y'all play the game, but y'all think that we dumb when we have demands, but you're willing to pay for ass from these younger women, but shun us when we have some requirements for y'all. Because we too old to play games at 50 years old with a 50 above man who talking about what he ain't gonna pay. Well, keep moving. Keep it moving. We don't want you either. Sips my tea.
But the thing is not paying. A 55-year-old woman is not going to be attracted by the same things that a 30-year-old woman would, because the end all goal of a man is physical contact. That's just the fact of the matter. We are led by physical. So if you are a 55-year-old woman and you are okay with being physical, you probably are going to get a guy closer to your age. No, I don't want to mess with a 30-year-old. But I also don't want to hear the excuses from a 55-year-old either. That she's not going to do this, she's not going to do that, or you're going to make me wait and all this other stuff. That's where the game gets skewed, because women lead with beauty and men lead with money. You guys like the money, so that's what we lead with. We like the beauty, that's what you guys lead with. And that's why the judgment is there. So when the beauty starts to fade, you can't command the money that you once probably did.
Right.
But you can't complain about women not wanting to age when what you're saying right now makes us not want to age, makes us not embrace our age. Because now you're beautiful. You're not beautiful anymore because you're aging, so you can't demand anything. That's bullshit.
No, dear. You're missing the point. If you got accoutrements trait outside of beauty, if you got true raw femininity, if you're demure, if you know how to conduct yourself, that'll help. Let me show you guys something. And shout out to Peaceful Life. Him and I talk all the time, and he talks about something called shame you women. And Japanese women understand that after 24, they don't have the same. Shame you. They don't have the same power as a younger woman. Hold tight. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about. But only in America do women think they got the same power as a younger woman. You just don't have the same power. And I'm gonna show you guys in a minute. Let me show you guys something because these women are delusional. You don't have the same power as a younger woman, sweetie, and it's okay. Don't feel bad. Just do better. Just be grateful that you're still alive. But you ain't gonna be commanding and demanding what young women prices and virginal women. You're just not. Let me show you guys.
In China, if a woman is over 30 years old and she is not married, she will be called 剩女, which means leftover woman. In China.
Yeah, that's what happens in China. And I'm not trying to call nobody a leftover woman, but let's be real. You just don't have the same power as a younger woman. Just like.
What's the term for women that are past 25?
Yeah. Once you pass 25, sweetie, you don't have the same power as a younger woman. it ain't nothing like a young, feminine, softer woman. And like I said, I don't have a problem with older men dating younger women, but he got to be willing to take care of her. We're just wired that way. But you got a young, feminine, softer woman with a high-pitched voice. She got proper hip symmetry. She's emotionally mature. Younger women want a man to look up to. Women like men with height, but he got height, he got money, he got a deep voice. You know, that's why I laugh at women like Trey. Because if I was a single man, I know I could have my choice of bigger women if I was single. But a lot of women now won't meet my standards as a man. I won't even look at them. But I want you guys to listen to what this man is saying. Hold tight.
Not married in China?
剩女, yeah, 剩女.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Leftover women. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why is this so funny? Why is this word so funny?
Why do women get married? What age in China?
My parents always tell me that you better find a husband before 25 because once you after 25 you're gonna.
Yes, they prioritize family. The Chinese understand that beauty is beauty is fleeting, and a lot of Chinese women are becoming more modernized too, but they're beginning to have problems. So they understand once they get over 25, that's why Paul said, if you can contain your virgin in the flower of her youth. Even Paul understood the power of youthfulness and vitality. He says, better the married than the burned with passion. And so Paul understood that it's not like a younger woman. Younger women are just vibrant. But I don't think older men that are out of shape, they can't take care of the woman, and they're trying to use a woman as a geriatric support system. I think that's wrong. I don't think women should trade in their youth for a man that don't take care of his body, and he can't be a great provider for that woman. Because it's a fair exchange. Resources, money, and protection, and guidance for femininity, fit, and all of that. But women get mad. You don't need to get mad. You had your time. You had your time in your 20s when you were looking down on average men. When you didn't give those men the time of the day, they were nobody. And we had to eat it. A lot of men had to eat it. But now these men, they're laughing. They're getting the last laugh. And they struggle with it because they don't have the same power.
Like you might be here after 25, after one night, the 12 a.m. you're gonna be like.
What's the term for women that are past 25 and not married in China?
剩女, yeah, 剩女.
Let me tell you a secret. If a woman in China who is over 25 years old but not married yet.
And see, these women are giving y'all a fair market, right? A lot of American men won't have a problem dealing with a Chinese woman in her 30s. They won't have a problem with that. They will give her the time of day. But you got women in their 50s, and trying to tell a man what the standard is, and you're gonna pay. No, we're not paying all bills, sweetie. Ain't nobody paying all those bills. I'll pay some of them, but I'm not gonna pay all no bills. I'm not doing that. You ain't gonna switch it up, and think just because you cook. I'm not worried about no woman cooking for me. I can cook my own food. I can clean my own house. I can order food. I don't. Besides companionship, if I was a single man, I don't really need a woman, but for companionship, and a woman that can make my life easier. But if I was single, no, I definitely wouldn't date a woman my age. No, I wouldn't. It don't mean that there are not some attractive older women. There are some stunningly attractive older women. But if I got the option of a younger woman, say in her 40s or her mid 30s, compared to a woman that's my age or older, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Not saying that there are not some older women that are attractive, but it's just how we're wired, man.
She will be called 剩女, 剩女, which means nobody likes her and marries her.
What's the term for women?
Leftover unmarried women of China. 5. It's known as Sengri. It's a derogatory term for women who are unmarried over the age of 27 or so. It's believed that the government coined that phrase to push educated women out of the workforce and into matrimony and marriage. 3. China's falling birth rate is having an impact to the economy. So researchers believe that the government is trying to scare women to marry sooner, or it's becoming less of a problem because China's one-child policy has resulted in parents killing girl babies. 1. I guess I'm a Sengri. Leftover.
In China, the more eligible a woman becomes, the less desirable she is. The term 剩女 means leftover woman, a label for educated urban women who remain unmarried past the expiration age of 27. Ironically, because of the one-child policy and historic preference for sons, China's gender ratio at birth is 111 boys for every 100 girls. You would think that would make a woman's dating market, but you will be wrong. In China, eligibility is not about chemistry. It's based on education, income level, status, and family backgrounds. So here's a paradox. Successful men often prefer women who admire them, not those who rival them. And successful.
Listen to what she said. Listen to what she said. Men don't want women to be the competition. Men want to be venerated because God made man in his image. And just like God loves to be venerated, men want to be venerated because men are the first fruit of God's creation. Theology said it, that the woman was made for man. The woman is the glory of man. So men want a cheerleader. They don't want a woman trying to compete with him. That's why I don't believe in no partners. You're not a partner, ma'am. You're my wife. Ain't no partners. There's gonna be only one king, and you can be the queen, and we're gonna make this thing work. I'm gonna take good care of you, but you can follow the program. If you can't follow the program, you can go.
Women still want partners who are more successful than they are. So we end up in a strange hierarchy. A-grade men date B-grade women. B-grade men date C-grade women. And who's left? A-grade women and D-grade men. The most eligible women and the least eligible men. Two groups who will never meet, let alone marry. He's often in the countryside and she's in Shanghai. They don't even exist in the same world. Chinese men and women are drifting apart, not because they've changed, but because culture did. Because education empowered women, but emasculated tradition. It rewrote the rules of the game and forgot to teach anyone how to play together. I'm Crystal, your favorite Asian rebel. Follow for more deep dives into Asian culture and business.
So, what's her name? That Pisces. Who's going to be there? A young girl or a woman your same age group? I don't know. I don't know that Pisces. I don't know who's going to be there. It might not be either. But I do know one thing. See that Pisces. I appreciate that Pisces. I appreciate you, answering the question. But I need you to listen clearly. I need you to listen. I need you to take your emotions out of it because I'm not trying to be rude. I promise you, I'm not. But I want you to listen. That Pisces, that deep Pisces. Do I take a younger woman that's in good shape, fit, and I'm also in good shape, even though I'm an older man? Or do I take a woman my age that's older, but she might not be as strong as that younger woman? Older men with money and status understand that they got to take care of their body. I don't believe, as I said earlier, that a younger woman should be taking care of an older man that's in bad shape. He got bad health. He doesn't eat right. He got a pot belly. He got a bunch of health problems. I don't think a woman should get with a man like that. I'm talking about older, fit men with money and status, and they can lead a woman. That's what I'm talking about. So I think if a man had an option, that he would choose that younger, fit woman. It's a no-brainer. Because a younger, fit woman can hold him down. And I'm going to show you, because a lot of people have these negative, people always look at age gap relationships through the lens of the negative, thinking, oh, she just wants your money, and all women want money. It's really a weird concept, because every woman wants a man with money. But the problem is older women think they can have the same demands as younger women, and they can't have the same demands as younger women, because older women are not the buyers. They're the sellers. Let me show you guys something real quick. And that's a good question, Pisces. Let me show you guys something. Now, this young woman gets it. Let me show you guys something, because older men want stability. I mean, younger women want stability, and they want security and protection. And trust and believe, we're not talking about older men that are, like I say, in bad shape. They got diabetes and all. We're not talking about those type of men. But I'm talking about men that are in good shape.
Older men dating younger girls. Y'all can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about this topic all fucking day. Y'all, these men
Y'all
steady
forgive the
telling
language.
y'all.
When I do these videos, I don't know the language. So guys, please forgive the language. I don't endorse the language. So I just want to make sure I'm clear. But this young lady gets it. You got to become the standard. If you go to anywhere in any other country, the women understand that. Only in America, the women that are older, out of shape, a bunch of baggage, and they think they can tell a man what the standard is. Older men with money and status, you're not going to tell them what the standard is. You got to compete. And even then, you still might not get them. It's just what it is, man. If you didn't tie down a good man in your 20s, it's a strong possibility you're not going to get a good man after years later.
What they want and what they don't want. And the difference between this generation versus the older generation, like the women that's probably 70, 80 years old right now, is that they actually submitted to their men. Mm-hmm. They actually loved and cared.
Talk to a young lady. This young lady understands it. This young lady, she gets it. This young lady understands the assignment better than the so-called older women. Women now don't cater to their men. Let me tell you guys a secret what my dad got. What my dad got was a virgin. My mom didn't have no kids. She didn't have no children. And she was mostly wife ready. But men now are not getting nowhere, nothing close to that. But you think you're going to tell men with money and status what the standard is? No, ma'am, you don't. That ain't going to work. that ain't going to work. Because, see, the world don't have a problem when older women date younger men. They don't have a problem with it. But when an older man want to date a younger woman, they got a problem. Once again, I don't have a problem with older men dating younger women. If you look at it biblically, Adam actually was older than Eve. Adam was here probably for years or centuries before Eve came on the scene. So Adam had him a young woman. Eve and Adam weren't the same age. They won't produce the same time. But when Adam saw Eve come from the ground, he probably saw a woman with wide hips, a flat stomach, perky breast, probably had thick, pretty hair. And when Adam saw Eve, Adam said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. And Adam said, the Lord is good, and he's worthy to be praised. That's what Adam said when he saw Eve, man. And yeah. We change physiologically every 7 years. 28 is the multiple of 7. Black women are problematic. Shout out to Minister Misty. Shout out to Minister Misty. Shout out to that dear sister. You know, Minister Misty's a cool chick. I respect Minister Misty, you know, because she's one of the rare sisters that understand where men are trying to come from. So shout out to that sister, nothing but love and respect. Minister Misty said, that was my mom and dad. I'm getting closer to 50, and now the modern woman, things have changed out here. Shout out to Minister Misty in the house, man. Shout out to Minister Misty. Minister Misty's a cool chick. I like her, man. Shout out to her.
For their man, they knew how to be a woman. So when y'all see a woman like me getting picked by a man, y'all.
And these rebellious women are so foolish. They'll call a woman, they want to get with a man's program a pick-me, and that's what a woman should be. Every woman should be a pick-me. It's one thing to be a genuine woman that want to be picked, and there's another thing that a woman that just acting like she's feminine for the sake of getting a man. But you mean to tell me a woman with no kids, a young woman like this woman with no kids, versus a woman that got a bunch of, not children, but a bunch of children. Y'all tell me what y'all think a man's gonna take. Look, I'm just having fun, guys. But y'all tell me what a man will take.
I'm trying to touch the States this time. 2021. Gotta show him I can still rap though.
was on the bench. First I was renting, now I'm collecting rent. Run it up. First it with the Beamer, now I want the Benz. Spending all the bag like here I go again.
So you take a man with money and status. You take a masculine man with money and status. He worked hard to earn his status and earn his value. Outside of his height, his looks, and certain leadership qualities. And he gonna settle for that woman? But that's what black men have been reduced to in America. We've been expected to take the lesser of women. And masculine men that know their worth, we're not taking no bad deals. And, just get over it. Get over yourself, because we ain't taking it.
Oh, tell me, oh, go heal, go do this, go do that. Baby, the women back then, they was younger than me. They was like 12 years old, having to get married to 80-year-old men. Like, come on.
Now, I'm not saying that's right. That's too much. Yeah. But according to Islam, the Prophet Muhammad's wife was young. And that was too young in my opinion. But the Prophet Muhammad had a young wife according to the Surah, not in the Hadith. But that was too young. But 12 is too young. That's wrong. But Bill Belichick, even though it's weird, is 72 and his girlfriend is 25. Bill Belichick knows that woman wants him for his money. But Bill Belichick is willing to do a fair exchange. He don't mind doing it.
Come on now. This shit is in the Bible. What is y'all missing? What is you missing? And the main thing these men keep telling you, oh, I want a woman that's going to come home and cook for me and clean. I want
peace. Oh, yeah. See, American women can't do that, sweetie, Courtney. Why? Because American women say if you cook for a man, you're a slave, you male identified, but yet they say happy wife, happy life. But yet they say they want a man to pay all their bills. But yet they say they don't want a 50-50 man. But yet they say, if you're not a real man, if I can't pay all your bills, but I guess I'm not a real man because you're not going to determine what my masculinity is. But they get mad when a younger woman that understands her assignment gets with a man that got his stuff together. I'm not talking about abuse of older men. There are some older men that are highly manipulative, and they play on the vulnerabilities of some women. But conversely, there are some older women that get with younger men, and they also play on the vulnerabilities of those younger men. But we tend to always falsely equivocate men being the predators, and that's not the case.
I want to feel like a man. Men are so simple. Y'all little young hoes don't want to do shit but be outside, shake y'all motherfucking ass. Then when a bitch like me decide to have a family, people like y'all get on the motherfucking internet and talk shit about
Forget the language. I don't do it.
Bitch, love is love. And age ain't shit but a fucking number.
See, y'all have been asking me this question for a bit, so I'm going to go ahead and cook for y'all real quick. The question...
We're going to say this, then we're going to get back into Trey. All right, guys, hit the like button. Donate to the channel. Hit the like button, guys. And donate to the channel, guys. And we're going to get deep back into it. Hit the like button. Donate to the channel. Guys, because this StreamYard mess is high. StreamYard about almost $500 a year. StreamYard is extremely expensive. And so, guys, y'all like what I'm trying to bring to y'all. Make sure y'all show some love and hit that Cash App and hit the Super Chat. Thank you. Yeah, shout out to Minister Missy. Minister Missy, I appreciate your honesty. Ever since I've known you, you've been honest. But when I do these shows, I'm not here to denigrate women. I'm here to denigrate women that think they're better than men and they're arrogant and they don't have any humility. But let's play this real quick and then we're going to get back into it. Y'all hit the like button. Donate to the channel, please.
The question of the day is, why are older men only seeking after younger women nowadays? Why are older men only seeking after and trying to date younger women nowadays? They want a doormat. Short and sweet answer, they want a doormat. And a lot of those older men, they try to hide it and disguise it in a way where, man, these younger women, man, they don't come with all of the baggage. They don't come with the trauma. They don't come with all that drama. They're not set in their ways, and they're easier to mold into a doormat. They want to mold a young woman into a doormat, and it's intimidating. It's hard on them to date a woman that's their age range because
well, this man is a simp. He don't know what he's talking about. I'm not gonna listen to him. He ain't never the male identified simp. Because actually a man is supposed to mold a woman. That's what he's supposed to do. When the bride word, the whole word groom, bride, groom, means that the groom is supposed to mold the woman into his image in his program, like God is supposed to mold us into his likeness and his image as well. So that's the whole purpose of a bridegroom. The groom and the bridegroom. The word groom means to mold that woman into his image. They shall become one flesh. But this man sounds like a simp because he doesn't understand that that's what masculine men are supposed to do. A man's supposed to mold his woman to be part of his program. But that's part of the shaming language that many use because men aren't allowed to have standards. We're supposed to take older women. And once again, if you want to be with an older woman, that's your business. But when you're an older woman that's arrogant and entitled, then that's something totally different. It's one thing to be older and mature and humble, and it's another thing to be older and arrogant.
It's not saying that you're not beautiful. It's that you have to reality look at where you are attractive to. Now, most women, and I tell you all the time, Trey, you are in the upper 20% because you do take care of yourself. You do go to the gym. You do understand what men are talking about. The other 80%.
Yeah, but what Lamar gets wrong is that she might be in good shape, and I think I've seen Trey looks like she's in excellent shape. But to masculine men with money and status, how many bodies you got? Have you had multiple deletions? Do you know how to control yourself? Do you know how to cooperate? And so you might be physically fit, but if your heart is not physically fit, if your femininity is not mentally fit, then it really don't matter. Physically, you might be fine, but do you have that je ne sais quoi, which is the feminine allure? Being feminine fit is and remember, it's feminine, fit, and friendly. That's only one component. What else do you have?
Percent is what everyone focuses on, men and women. The 80% is what makes us do the things that we're doing. You have choices, Trey. If we put you in a room with 55-year-old women, you're in the upper echelon. But that bottom 80% can't be 300 pounds talking about why don't you like me? That's where the problem lies.
I was just on with a friend of mine. He FaceTimes all the time. And the first time he FaceTimed me, I was just like, I didn't put the camera on. I was like, I'm not putting my camera because I'm working right now. Like, I'm really editing. I've been at it all day. I found this new app, Lamar. You heard our new theme song?
Yeah.
I wrote that.
Oh, you did?
Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But I'm in here working, and he was like, put your camera on. And I was like, nah. He was like, nah, put my camera on. He was like, you look good. Just like that. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see made up eyelashes and all of that. But society makes women feel that way. Like, I'm not putting on my FaceTime. Like, I'm on right now because I'm.
No. Society don't make women feel that way. Women make women feel that way because women are competing with others. Women compete with other women. Most women don't get pretty, not necessarily for what a man wants, especially women now. They compete with other women.
I don't really care. Because again, I clean up well. I know what I look like when I dress up. And I know that every other young girl and every other woman, Beyonce, Cassie, and I'm not saying Cassie's not a beautiful woman, but they get up and they have a makeup artist. Women get up every day and they put on makeup and eyeliner. I'm not doing all of that. When you see me at the supermarket, you don't see me at the supermarket. And I'm not saying I go out and I be looking crazy because I am looking for a husband. Anybody? But I don't go out looking crazy. But I'm okay with my natural state. I'm okay with my gray hair. I'm okay with my ponytail. I'm okay with the way that I look. But society makes older women feel insecure, feel like.
But Trey, you don't think society makes younger men that don't have any money not feel like they're worthy? You don't think society make older men feel like if they don't have money and resources, they're not worthy? You see how double that dichotomous that is? And this part of the game, charm is vain, but beauty is deceitful. But who can find a virtuous woman? You got to develop something outside of beauty that's going to attract a man. But men that got high standards, you just can't dictate to a man what biology is. This is how men are wired. But men have been conditioned to minimize what they want. And a lot of men now saying, no, we're not doing that.
Like the clock is ticking and nobody's going to want us. I don't believe that. And I do believe that we have to be real with ourselves. We have to be real and understand, you're not a 10. I don't know.
But see, the problem is with women like Trey, it's not because Trey can get a man that's 60 or 65. Trey thinks because of hypergamy, she's better than those men. So really, Trey, what you're doing, you're actually hypocritical because you are a slave to your biology, just like men can be a slave to their biology. Your biology don't want a man that's 60 or 65 because in your mind, you don't think that man can provide or protect. Well, men say, I don't want a woman that's in her 50s, that's a little older, because her beauty is faded. Men want beauty, youthfulness, femininity.
Very many 10s. I don't know very many 10 men.
I don't know very many 9 women or 9 men.
Okay, so I don't know I know that when I go do a photo shoot and I have a makeup artist and I have a stylist, they make me a 10.
Thank you, Michael.
But I know on a regular basis, ain't none of us a 9 or 10. Very few.
One of the things that we talked about is this delusion about what people are having. And somebody just chimed in and said, delusional about what? I tried to adjust the title of this. We're talking about delusional in their dating expectations, etc. So you talked about being made up or some ladies in their expectations. Are these quote unquote 3s and 4s? I know some ladies don't like the rating system. Are they setting themselves up for failure when they think that they deserve something that they're not? Are they truly delusional? Are they lying to themselves? Do they really look in the mirror and say, man, I am really.
And yes, Dr. L, they are delusional. And yes, they are lying to themselves. Because here are the key words. They don't say I desire a quality man. They say I deserve. And you don't deserve anything. You don't deserve a man's love. You don't deserve a man's affection. You don't deserve a man's resources. You must become what the standard is instead of telling the man what the standard is going to be. And that's the problem with modern women. They're highly narcissistic. They say, I deserve. No, you don't, man. A man don't deserve a good woman. He must earn his way into a woman's life. A man does not deserve a quality woman. And men, we understand that. We understand that we must have leadership, must work, must have a goal. We must be physically fit. That's a kosher king. He's highly optimized. That's a kosher king. So men understand that. That's why if I was a single man, I wouldn't date. Come on, man. You're gonna have to be a top end chick if I was a single man. I'm not selling for mediocrity because I don't have to. Before I settle, I'll just stay single. But number one, if I was a single man, then she would have to be a godly woman, number one. And me and my wife, we talk about this all the time. She would have to be a godly woman. She would have to be physically fit. She would have to have good emotional regulation. She would have to have a low body count. And she would have to come in understanding that I'm going to be the king in the relationship. And that I'm going to give her the best. I'm going to take care of her. And I'm going to look out for her. But she got to understand how to get on my program. And that's what I'm trying to teach men, to reclaim their value and start raising the bar high. For too long, too many women have told men what the standard is by saying they deserve. You do not deserve a good man. You don't deserve what you are not. And it irritates me when I hear women say, I deserve. You don't deserve a man's time, money, resource, attention, and affection. You must earn it. And that's a fundamental flaw. That's called a cognitive distortion. That's called the minimization of masculinity. That's a cognitive distortion that a lot of women struggle with.
Really a 10 when I'm really grossly overweight, no hair, all this stuff. What is going on mentally with a lot of these ladies?
Let me say this. There are women who were overweight, right? Who are skinny now, right? There are mental illnesses. And I just want to be real right now. And, Tammy Roman, she talks openly about her struggle with body image. And she's very, very thin right now. She was beautiful when she was thick, right? She's very, very thin. But she looks in the mirror. She don't see beauty. She sees that she's still fat. So there's some big fat women, big fat women, because I know y'all gonna come to me. I'm not knocking y'all, but there's some big fat women out here that think they fly. Like they really believe that they fly, and they are in their own sense. Just like if you look at people's kids, their kids is ugly, right? You look at some. No, let me be real with y'all. No, listen. You look at somebody's kid, and their kid is ugly to you. But do you think to that parent that their beautiful newborn toddler 12-year-old is ugly? I look at my children, I think my children are beautiful, but to somebody else, they might be ugly. So a woman looking in the mirror at 500 pounds or at 140 pounds, not attractive, but got a banging body, could be delusional to some sense because your body don't match your face.
But they can't look at Beyonce. They can't look at Jennifer Lopez. They can't look at, you name the hottest person and say that I'm really in this particular league. They can't be really doing that.
No, they really looking at themselves in the mirror. And they really, no, I'm telling you, there are some people who are really looking at themselves in the mirror and saying, I talk to my girls all the time and I say, not that we gossip, but we have our talks when we see certain people online. And we say, she ain't got no friends. Because who let her go outside like that? But there are people, they do have friends, but their friends can't tell them nothing because they think they fly. I'm telling you, I see women who really are dressed inappropriately. And I'm not even talking about fat women only. I'm talking about a thin woman with a gut, with a tight dress on, and she look like an ant, but she thinks she fly.
I don't think women are honest with each other in friendships. I think there's a very small percentage of friendships that women are really honest, because you can go, like, you look horrible in that. And the first thing a woman's going to be like, ooh, that's mean. Y'all lean on the mean and not the purpose. It's like, listen, prime example, when I go out with my fellas, those guys are a representative of me. So it's up to me to look at these guys and go, listen, dog, we don't do this. I had a guy one time that he's I always say he got his pink thing out. He's always chasing women. It's like, I can't stand in a group with you when every woman that walks by, you go, hey. Now I'm getting lumped into it. So it's my responsibility to tell you as a man, stop doing it, or I walk away. It's a woman's responsibility to tell her friends, this is not flattering for you. Stop doing this. You can be big, but you're wearing clothes that a size 4 or size 6 is going to wear. Like, I don't understand.
But women, let me tell you this about women. We know which one of our friends ain't going to receive it well. Like, we got friends that, we have codes with my friends, like, you got something else to wear? You know what I'm saying? Not like you look bad, but we'll say, you got something else to wear, to let our friend know, maybe not that. But we also have friends that we know that.
And there's a lot of women, guys, that struggle with emotional regulation. They struggle with emotional regulation. They don't know how to regulate their emotions. And men got to always be careful what they say. You should want a man that's honest with you. You might not like what he's saying, and I don't think men should be disparaging. But in this day and age now, just being honest with a woman is seen as bashing. Because a lot of women's ego can't handle it.
We can't be honest with, because they're going to have an attitude or they think they fly. So you just got to let them people go and do their thing.
So Jayla's saying, are we still talking about aesthetics in our age group? Yawn. I don't think that goes away. And I think that's part of the problem as you start to talk about, Trey, is that these ladies are doing what they're doing, dressing the way that they're dressing, trying to keep up the latest dances because they're trying to keep up with aesthetics. I don't think it stops. I don't think, particularly for the 40 and 50-year-olds, it probably won't stop till the 70-year-olds. And soon they won't stop either.
But it doesn't stop because the reality of the situation is men are visual creatures. Not only men, but women. When we are single, so it's not a yawn. When we are single, we don't know who we're dealing with intellectually until we get to know them. And we meet people when we look at, we say, oh, Lamar is cute. I want to get to know him. I'm going to walk over.
Yeah, women are visual too, but I don't think that women are as visual as men. I'm not saying that women are not visual, because they are, but they're not necessarily hardwired. It's not as fluid. It's not as fluid as for women as it is for men. Men normally are wired for beauty first. Not saying that women are not, but some women like a man's intellect. Some women like a man's frame. And then, if he's handsome, that helps. Some women are just attracted to intellectualism first. Some are attracted to a man's leadership qualities. It's not always just set on this being attractive.
I hope he come over here and talk to me. So we always start with aesthetics. We're human. So we can't say yawn and act like this. I'm tired of people talking about aesthetics and this and that, because the reality of the situation is the first thing we see is each other in the human form, and not our mentality, and not our conversation, and not our interests. Even on dating sites, when you go on a dating site, I'm not clicking on a dude's page that got a beer belly and his beard is not manicured and he look crazy. I'm clicking on a fine brother because that's what I'm looking at. I don't know. And I'm gonna look at his interests, but all of us want to be attracted to the person that we're going to be with. So we got to stop playing games like we don't want to be attracted to that person.
That's fat girl talk. So I'm just saying, if you get offended by that, I'm sorry. Because people that go to the gym every day, they're not necessarily doing it for aesthetics. That's a byproduct of it. At 50 and older, you should be caring about your health, and being able just to bend over and pick up something. But if you consistently do it, you are going to develop muscles if you go to the gym 4 days a week. It's just a process. So the aesthetic part of it is just, and men are visual. That's the whole point. If you want to attract a man, you have to look good. It's like, go to the gym, do your hair right, do your makeup right. Because what? Men are visual.
And vice versa. Women can play these lovey games and, oh, I want a man for this.
Yeah, but she's trying to she's wrestling with trying to say that men and women are the same, and we're not. Not that women are not visual. Let me share something with you guys. What Trey don't understand is some countries, like in Africa and some South American countries, those men have pot bellies, but they got women. Because those women looking at those men for their leadership, their wisdom, and their resources. I'm not saying a man should have a pot belly. I think a man should take care of himself as well. But I got to get back to the gym. I'm really serious on going back. I got weights in my garage, but I want to get serious about lifting weights and getting more fit as I'm getting older. You know, because you lose muscle mass when you get older. Your protein is lower, the testosterone levels are dropped, and the kind of work I do is stressful. And actually, I said something on this show, and shout out to Rhonda Payne.
Personality, but that's BS. We as women, that's BS. And I'm going to call it like it is. When we initially are out dating, we go to a event, whether it is charity event, a bar, club, cigar, wherever we go in to mix and mingle, we're looking for a man that's attractive. Ain't no woman, like y'all said, women are delusional. Why do we know they're delusional? Because they're trying to get with a man that's very attractive, and they're not. So let's not sit on here as women acting like we're not going out looking for the fine guy with a nice body or the decent body, because we are. So it is, unfortunately, initially, the initial attraction is on the outside, and we just have to be honest about that. And we can't be, like y'all said, thinking that we're going to pull somebody that's, flyer than we are, because we're not. Like, people who take care of themselves and people who look a certain way, a man is looking for a decent woman to have on his arm when he walks in a room.
So this will be controversial. Do you guys think, like, a lot of us are in the second half of our life, second relationship, second marriage, potentially? Is it fair to say that you don't necessarily get to upgrade tremendously from what you had previously?
No, you do. If you have upgraded tremendously.
So it's predicated on you first. If you
You're
upgrade,
not downgrading. Like,
no. What I'm saying is, if you've done no work on yourself, and whatever your baby daddy was, let's just say you haven't done any work on yourself, do you think you deserve much better than your baby daddy if you've done no work? Now, if you've done the work, going to the gym, going to therapy, do all these things, and to your peer group and your friends now that you aren't even the same you, I think that's when you get to upgrade.
Kevin would say that you don't deserve anything above your baby daddy, period.
I would agree. But if you haven't done any work, now you may have learned a lesson from that man, and now you're in the gym where your friends, you don't even look the same, you don't act the same. You're a new person. Now,
first of all, wait, let's shift the dynamic a little bit. How can you say that a woman doesn't deserve better than her baby daddy if the baby daddy was the problem and the relationship dissolved? Like, how do you even say a woman never deserves better than her baby daddy?
No, I think you have to do the work. I don't think that you're going to go catch a different fish using the same bait.
But if the bait was a dead bait and you found out it was the bait that was the problem, if you find out that the man was the problem,
the man would be the fish. The man would be the fish.
So you are the bait. You're the bait.
How could you say that a woman doesn't deserve a better fish if the fish was rotten?
I'm not saying no. The fish is the fish. You are the bait in this. The only controlled variable in this is you. So you don't get to. If you drove a Honda Accord your whole life, you don't go get a Bentley unless something changes. Your money, your career.
Well, see. Well, I understand what Lamar is saying. I respect Lamar. But if you drove a Honda Accord your whole life and you're getting older, you're definitely not going to get a Bentley. That's like an oxymoron. You've driven a Honda Accord your whole life, and now you're older, and you think you're going to get a Bentley? You might get an older Honda Accord, but you're not going to get a Bentley. You're supposed to get the Bentley, and maybe I'm hearing them wrong in your younger years.
You save some money, you won some money. Something has to change for you to go from here to here.
That's any person. That's not just a woman.
No, it's any person. I'm not saying a woman. I'm saying anything. But that's what I'm saying. But too many times, women have babies with men and then think that they're supposed to get 10 times better. Why?
Listen.
Arrogance.
I have children, right, with men. And none of my baby daddies are bums, of course, because I wouldn't be with a bum. But when I was with let's just use my ex-husband, for example. I had a kid with him because I thought the marriage was going to last. Right? So how do you say that I don't deserve something equal to him or better because our marriage didn't last?
I didn't say you equal. Yes, you absolutely. But if you have done work on yourself, mentally, physically, spiritually.
Yeah, but Trey, what you don't understand, dear, is that you don't deserve anything equal to them or better because you're an older woman. You keep thinking that you dictate the market. Men with money and status are not going to see you the same as they. If a man got a younger version of Trey versus an older version of Trey with less baggage and less kids, you got other men kids, you got the kids by two different men. Men with money and status not going to take. There are some men that will. Some men just naturally fall in love with a woman and they don't care about that. And sometimes the chemistry can be good, but men that are grounded and centered and they know the pitfalls that come along with that, they might say, "Nah, I'm good." But you can't tell me that the younger version of yourself can demand the same thing as the older version of yourself. And it's another thing to say I desire, and it's another thing to say I deserve. And that's a fundamental flaw when they say I deserve.
Now you get to go to the next playing field.
Right.
Anything, man or woman, you do not get to upgrade if you are the same person that you just left.
I totally agree.
You're not going to upgrade because you're going to attract the same thing because your mentality is the same.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And you don't deserve
So, and if you do attract something above, you're not going to keep them.
So a woman in a scenario that we'll say she's above average attractive, been with somebody 10 years, now she's back out there 10 years. In her mind, she still thinks she's the same as 10 years ago.
Right.
And she should get everything that she got 10 years ago.
And that was the first video that I played. It's a woman who had been married for 30 years. Now she wants to go back out there and has the same expectations.
No, you can't get the same. You can't. You can't go trade in your 2000 Honda and think you're going to get today at 2020.
And they don't understand that. So instead of them adjusting and getting with a solid man, they still think they're going to get better or greater. And you're not, because as you get older, listen, this is going to sound extremely harsh, and I promise you I'm not trying to be mean. There are some older women that look phenomenal for their age. But what women don't understand, I had a conversation with a woman. She got mad at me. She blocked me, which I don't care. But she was always talking about men and always denigrating men, and men are this and men need to do this, whatever. I said, ma'am, and her and I used to be cool. I said, well, ma'am, what you don't understand, in a couple of years, you're going to be invisible to men. She didn't like what I said, but I knew what I was saying is true. You are invisible to older men with money and status, unless you 55 and you got a man in his 60s or maybe 70 that's in decent shape. But older men your age with money and status, and they ain't fit, they got the money, why would they settle for you? See, the problem is women like Trey, no disrespect to Trey, they think they deserve quality men. They think by default they're supposed to get a top tier man. They're not checking for you, not like that. Because you don't understand the assignment. You keep saying, I deserve it. You don't deserve anything from a man. A man don't deserve your love and your adulation, and you don't deserve his time, his money, his resources. But once again, in America, only in America, women feel like they deserve a man's money, time, and resources instead of earning it. You don't deserve anything. You must earn it.
Buy out and get 2,000 prices. It doesn't work that way. Not from a visual marketplace.
It depends on her status in life.
Men don't care about status. We're visual. We care about visual first. We care about peace and femininity first. It's not.
Well, I don't. You can care about peace and femininity. You going with a younger woman, she's gonna wreck your damn nerves. So if you're looking for peace, you're looking in the wrong place, because she's only gonna be peaceful for a short amount of time.
Some young women know how to play their position. I didn't date. I stopped dating younger because I could not offer them the life that they wanted.
But what you're not realizing is, we were all young at one point. Every woman that you were dealing with that just say.
And see, once again, what Trey is doing, she's projecting out of her insecurities, and she's overgeneralizing and assuming that a younger woman is going to either say they're going to try to take your money, they're not going to love you as good, like Monique did. Monique did the same thing to Shannon Sharp, and even though Shannon Sharp messed up by dealing with the 304, Monique did the same thing. All that, guys, it's a shaming tactic. It's a shaming tactic to get men off their square. That's all it is. It's just a shaming tactic. Because they don't see, women that are wise understand I got to compete for a man. I'm going to compete to get the man that I want. Some women don't mind competing to get the man that they want. Some women don't mind reverencing the man that they want. Some men don't mind honoring the man that they want. And to good women, to solid women that are trying to learn to understand men, sisters that are balanced and cerebral, like Minister Mystic, I salute you and I respect you, sister. I want you to understand, Misty, when you come to my channel, anything that I say and do, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I promise you I'm not. I'm just being honest and raw. And so the whole name Kosher Clinician means kosher is raw. It ain't not, it's not fake about it. No additives, no preservative. It's kosher. And that's the problem with society. We keep giving people inorganic food. We keep giving people inorganic truths. We keep giving people GMOs. I call it genetically modified truth. That's GMTs. That's a new word that I created. Genetically modified truth. I like that word. Y'all don't nobody steal my terminology. But we keep giving folks GMTs, which is genetically modified truth. We genetically modify the truth. GMTs. Well, that's a good one, man. But I'm kosher. Ain't nothing. It ain't nothing inorganic about me. It gotta be kosher. Genetically modified truth. Yeah, that's a bar right there. I like that. That's that kosher swag. We keep giving people genetically modified truth. And that genetically modified truth is predicated in social engineering. And a lot of these women have arrested development. Because you're not going to tell older men they got their act. Like Lamar, I can see Lamar probably getting a younger, prettier woman, even Dr. L. I can see Dr. L, I don't know if he would do it, dating a woman that's in her 20s. I mean, not 20s, but maybe 35 or 40. And I can see Lamar doing it. But what Trey is doing, she's projecting her insecurities. And that's what American women, sadly, and most of the black community continue to do, is to tell men what the standard is. And that's a sign of a woman that's very masculine.
She's 35. In 5 years, she's going to be 40. What do you think is happening to her? You are downgrading her as the years pass. If what you're saying to me is true. So every year, every 5 years, or every 10 years, you're going to go have to get somebody younger because that woman is turning into me.
No, no. If I'm 53, in 5 years I'm 58, in 5 years she's 40 from 35. If she's feminine, if she's doing the things that I need her to do, the relationship stays. I don't trade in women every couple of years because they get old. I'm not Leonardo DiCaprio. It's like, that's not what men are trying to do. What men are trying to do is go down far enough on the scale where they hit the woman that brings them peace, that's feminine, and she looks good. That's all we care about.
Okay, let me explain something to y'all about women.
Hold on a second. Hold that thought there. Kosher, I just want to get he put this up there. Women don't dictate the market. They must become or get left behind. Most men are wired for young women. It's biological. They had their turn. I want to say thank you for the 777.
And that's what I say, because it's kosher, because 7 in Hebrew means complete. You look at the Trinity is 777. In the Hebrew, the words teskeva, the 7 means complete. On the 7th day, God rested, and it was complete. Women don't get to dictate the market. They must become or get left behind. Most men are wired for younger women. It's biological. They had their turn. And I said what I said, and I meant what I meant. They had their turn. They had their turn in their 20s. They believed the lie of liberalism. And they forfeited their feminine responsibility. And now they sing that song by Teddy Pendergrass called "The Whole World Is Laughing at Me, I'm Silly Fool." Now they're afraid because they don't want to compete and they don't have anything outside of beauty. That's why they struggle. If you had something outside of beauty, then you could probably get a solid man. But you want to give a man used cat, children by multiple men, bad attitude. But what Minister Misty granddaddy got and what my daddy got and what her father got, most women of that generation, most men of the old school would not even look at women of this new generation. Because my granddaddy, my grandmama, she was a virgin. My granddaddy, my grandma was a virgin. She was wife ready and she had no kids. My mom was a virgin. And that was just the standard back then. And women were grateful for those kind of men. Women that had kids back in the day, they were humble women. Because they understood that their sexual market value was not the same as a woman that was a virgin that had no kids. And also, a virgin had no kids and she was wife ready. So she was grateful, she was humble, and she did everything in her power to make herself a quality woman for that man. And that man will a lot of times capitulate. But the problem now is that women with all this baggage say, I deserve. And ma'am, you don't deserve anything. You're not. let me ask you women a question. I want to ask you guys a question. I want to ask a woman a question. I think some logical, sound women. Minister Misty, one day I want you to come in. I might bring you in one day, Minister Misty. I would love to do a show with you at one point. With you, I want to hear your position because I do respect you. But Minister Misty said, I grew up with a masculine father. My mother and grandmother too were virgins and no kids. Thank you, ma'am. So Minister Misty understands it. That was just a basic standard. That was just a basic standard. It was not extraneous. It was just a basic standard. But I'm going to ask you a question, Minister Misty. Because, a lot of times, folks always, they don't understand men. They don't understand where men are coming from. They come up with these false tropes. But let me ask you a question, Minister Misty. Let me ask you a question. Let's say if I was a single man, I proposed to you, and I offered to give you the same ring that I proposed to multiple women with, but you still want that ring. I want you to tell me yes or no, Minister Misty. If I said, listen, Misty, I want you to be my woman. I was like Fleece Johnson. I see you and I want you. And let me ask you a question, Minister Misty. If I propose to you with the same ring that I proposed with multiple women, would you want that ring? And she said no. And conversely, Minister Misty, if we got married, I said I was going to marry you, and I dated several women your profile. Let's say, Minister Misty, I don't know, let's say you 5'6". I don't know how much you weigh. And I bought the same woman the same dress. She wore that dress. You won't want that dress or the ring. You know why? Because there's nothing special about it. That's why I used to try to teach my daughters to value their bodies. But you live in a generation of women now. They don't respect men. They don't respect leadership. They're rebellious and they're hard-headed. So how can a woman not want a man that's going to give her a used dress or a used ring, but yet she's been severely used by multiple men? And you think a man going to pay full price for that? That doesn't even make any sense. But see, the reason why it doesn't make any sense, because the world don't value what men want. The world don't see things through the lens of masculinity. The world see things through the lens of what women want, because the world that we live in is highly gynocratic. It's not masculine. Why would I pay full price for something that's used? I was on a show with Obsidian one time, and women that say, I want a man to pay all bills. No, man, we're not paying all bills. We're going to prorate it based on how many men you've been with. If your body count is low and you feminine and you in shape, we'll see. We might say you got a low body count, you young and you feminine, you in good shape. We might do a 90 to 80 to 85% proposition. But if you've been over a certain amount of men, you're in good shape and you're masculine, you should be grateful that you get 50-50, sweetie. You should be grateful. But we're not paying full price for something that's used. We're just not going to. We're just not going to. We're just not going to. That's what Fleece said. Kosher giving that Fleece proposal. It's the easy way or the hard way. I see you and I want you. But yeah, Minister, I would love to chop it up with you. I really will. I'm going to bring you on one day. You and I, we're going to chop it up. And I want to hear your story, because I love your energy. I love your perspective. And I'm going to bring you to one day, Minister Misty. You and I are going to do a show together. We're going to go back in time, because you're a Gen X. And we're going to get these women some free game. Because it's so refreshing to hear a woman that understands where I'm coming from. That's why I rock with Minister Misty, because she said her father and her grandfather were the same way. And so she understands it because that's what she's used to. But this new generation, they're not used to it. They ain't used to it. Minister Misty, I want you to email me. Let me see. We're going to do a show at some point. Minister Misty, email me. It's kosherclinician@gmail.com. Hit me up. And you and I, we're going to chop it up one day. We're going to do a show together. Guys, do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. And show some love to the channel. I don't have to take a woman with baggage with the children. She needs to be psychologically healed first, dealing with men. That's a requirement. No, I respect that, Ivan. That's your choice. I respect that. That's cool, Minister Misty. That's fine. No problem, man. No problem at all.
It's got to mean something. I don't know. I don't know what that means, but I appreciate it. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. I want to get that in there. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying that what y'all don't understand about women is it doesn't have anything to do with her age. You can have a woman that's 35, and you can find.
And guys, y'all can see that I said here: the charm is vain, and beauty is fleeting. Who can find a virtuous woman? Social market value is not the same as sexual market value. We are wired for younger feminine women. That's just how men are wired. All the men in my family, my sister's husbands are older than them. My niece's husband is older. My niece is 26. Her husband is 41. My daughter's husband is older than her. But the only thing I say, if you're an older man, you got to be able to take care of that woman. Because see, fair value, she's giving you her youthfulness and her body. And I didn't raise my daughters to be ran through. My daughters are not ran through. I'm raising my daughters to be kosher queens. Yes, sir. I'm going to do a show called She's a Kosher Queen. Yeah. I'm going to start doing shows about what a kosher queen looks like. Let me write this title down. What a kosher queen looks like. I'm going to start doing some shows because I'm trying to step this thing up. What a kosher queen looks like.
You can find out 3 years in, she got a nasty attitude. People's personalities change for different reasons. Things happen in relationships. It doesn't have anything to do with our age. And how you treat a woman as a man is going to say everything about how she matures and develops in that relationship. So if you're not treating her well, or you just think because she's cute and you got her on your arm, after a while she's going to look at you and be like, this is not beneficial to me. And you're getting on her nerves. Women have an attitude at all different ages. Y'all are acting like, I remember when I was 25, I would get into different arguments with my significant other. I remember I was 35. People have disagreements. People have personality flaws. And y'all.
What was the age dynamics of you and your husband?
My ex-husband was 9 years older than me.
That's a good age.
See,
so
she was with an older man.
You recognize that you were probably the one that needed to get on his plan and grow more.
But he had issues too.
True, but for the most part, we all have issues. But for the most part, he did the things that needed to get done, and over time, he was going to grow as a man, which would have allowed you to rest more in being feminine.
Oh yeah. That's a new show, my daughter. I created terms in this space. I got to get my stuff coined because folks are trying to steal it. You ain't never heard nobody. You got Catherine's, but I came up with the word Catherine. Other folks call it Keisha. But I'm gonna start doing some shows, kosher queen versus an unkosher queen, and then it's called genetically modified truth. I'm gonna do a show talking about that. Y'all know I've been getting revelations, man. So when I get the revelation, I gotta write it down.
As you grew, somewhere along the line, maybe the signals got crossed, and whatever the case may be, those things can happen. But when you create a dynamics, a minimum of 7 years, it creates a level of admiration between a man and a woman. That's why men like younger women. It doesn't necessarily, most women go with this 50 to 30 or 50 to 20. That's too much. All you need is 7 years.
And this woman said, more or less, younger women are hitting menopause early, but she misses the point. That's an ad hominem. That's a straw man argument, man. Because we know by and part the younger women are not hitting menopause earlier. And even if they are hitting menopause early, what's your point? She's still younger. What's your point?
Years. It creates a dynamic that a woman looks at a man with admiration and respect.
So let me ask this question. The last 3 relationships y'all was in, right? Why did they end?
Because they didn't get on my plan.
Exactly.
Dr. L, the last three, why did the relationship end?
So one was, I would echo Lamar's point. One wasn't on my plan. Other one was just difficulty with the kids, and I'm trying to think of the third one. So probably it's just the same thing. Wasn't on my plan. Wasn't where I needed to go. Just I had a vision where I wanted to be, where I wanted to go. I was going to get there, and it just didn't want to work out with that.
And how old were the last three women you were with, Lamar?
42, 44, and 35.
So they weren't in their 50s. So you can't say it's
I'm not dating nobody in my 50s. I already made that clear. Them women, that mentality is.
Hold on, I'm making a point here. The problem wasn't women over 50, because all of the women that you just talked about were the women that you said were 6 years younger than you, 7 years younger than you, the ideal age for an older man. It didn't work out because they sucked.
No, they didn't. I have a plan. I have a plan to get and come into my world. There's a plan. It's going to be run a certain way. And if you are not coachable,
right?
And I'm 7 to 10 years older than you, then we're not talking about.
You're talking about younger women, not older women that are not coachable. You're talking about younger women that are not coachable. So the problem is not age.
No, the older women are uncoachable. It's one thing to be. You ever heard that saying that say you can't teach an old dog new tricks? A lot of the older ones are not coachable. I would argue that the older ones are the most uncoachable. The older ones are the most uncoachable a lot of times. Because they're not trying to get on the man's program. They're not trying to get on the man's program. A lot of times the older ones are the most uncoachable because they're not trying to get on the man's program. And older men are saying, you're going to either get on the program or you can get left out. I promise you, men that got their money on point, they step their game up. They're not selling for mediocrity because they don't have to. They just don't have to. They don't have to. If you're older, me and my man Peaceful Life talk all the time. We talk about God. We talk about eternity. He's my brother, got nothing but love for him. And I respect that brother highly. But even him and I, when we talk, number one, most men are not dealing with state-supported marriages. And then number two, they did get married. It's going to be, it'll probably be a woman. If you got a younger, mature woman that's fit, feminine, low body count, that would be ideal. Let's say you got a woman, I'm 54. Let's say if I met a woman, if I was a single man that's 48, 50, but she's a good quality woman. She look good for her age, maybe. But she got to be exceptional. But when you come into a relationship talking about you deserve, man, you don't deserve anything, man. Me and old woman don't deserve anything.
Trey, what is your idea of a guy? Lamar and I are roughly the same age, in the mid-50s, early mid-50s. What would you say that we need or should be looking for in a mate? What age group would you say that people our age, mid-50s, early 50s, should be looking for?
I say 45 and up.
45 and up.
Okay, so she's got to be feminine, she's got to be fit, and she's got to be cooperative. Do you know how many 45-year-old women and up don't meet that criteria?
Yes.
You know how many 45 women and under don't meet that criteria? Just like the three you talked about.
I would take the chance with the 45 and under because she's going to be more attractive.
Yes, exactly.
That's just the three that you talked about. Even though they were more attractive, you still wasted your time.
Yeah, they had other problems that I thought that could be fixed. That's the reason why today I don't date women with kids anymore. I just don't. Your kids got to be older.
But I just want y'all to be open to view the perspective of looking at people as individuals instead of a number, as individuals.
There she go, but she don't. But they don't. But Trey don't look at a man as an individual if he's not making a certain amount of money. You see how hypocritical that is? Look, now all of a sudden you're supposed to look at a man as an individual. You're supposed to look at a man as an individual. You see how hypocritical that is? Because we know fundamentally that women don't look at men as no individuals. They look at men based on what they think they can get out of that man. If Trey had the opportunity to get a man that she really liked, say, he's 6'3", 6'4", polished, good money, attractive, smell good, versus another man that's 5'7", 5'6". He's a hard worker. She gonna always take the taller one because that's what she's wired for. So her conversation is highly hypocritical because she doesn't even believe what she's saying. But she's saying that because she want to feel good because she realizes she don't qualify like younger women do. And that's why they got these weird arguments.
Past the age bracket. And I'm not saying Nobody like Jim Jones' mother should be doing none of that. I'm just saying, looking past the stigmatism or looking past the stereotype that women over 50 are undateable. Generation X is not true.
I'm not saying they're not undateable.
I don't think that was the point.
We're not saying they're not dateable.
What for a person your age group, we're all roughly the same age, what are you looking for? Women generally, I'm speaking generalities, as Lamar said, look for men who are older than them, who have some wisdom to impart. What is it? What type of man, in addition to age, would you be attracted to? Would you consider giving your number? And what would be too young for you for a long-term relationship? Anybody
under 45 is out of the question. I don't even want to deal with nobody under 45. And what I'm looking for is a person that's just as tied as BS as I am. I'm looking for somebody who's mature, who knows how to communicate. We got a problem. That's the problem. Okay, we good. I'm looking for somebody who is their own individual person, whole on their own. So if I left tomorrow, I'm not taking a piece of you because you came in whole. You was living, you was breathing, and all of those other things. I'm looking for somebody who's confident in who they are, who's financially stable, who takes care of herself. Not because I'm looking for aesthetics, but I do want to be attracted to the man that I'm with, and I want him to be healthy, and I want him to be willing to be healthy, and I want him to be honest and respectful, not to me but to himself. Because if he's honest, respectful, and loyal to himself, I don't have to worry about him. I don't want no man outside embarrassing me.
What is this attraction thing? I think that's fairly a new thing because October is saying this too. Most men aren't handsome to begin with when they're younger. Y'all are not ranking higher in looks as you age. I mean, are men not attractive? What's up with this?
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
That doesn't. And again, we're talking in very generalities. That doesn't matter to women. Money matters. Financial stability matters to a woman. That is number one, number two on every one of your lists. So a man has to lead with beauty and being feminine. That is on the list.
Wait a minute, money is not on the top of the list. We don't want. Listen, I'm just saying. We want a man that's financially stable and able to take care of himself.
Right. No, you don't. You want more. You want more. You're not going to marry the guy working at Home Depot. You're not.
I would.
We've already established you are in this small ass percentage. We're talking the other 80% of women. They're not even looking at the guy.
No, we're talking about the other 30% of women.
But I think, shout out to Lamar. I think Lamar is being too easy on her, man. Because she might be in good shape, man. You know, I think I've seen Trey. I don't think Trey, she's not a bad looking woman for her age. But you got two baby daddies. You know, women don't understand that they can start off as a strong 6 or a 7. But if you got, let's say, if you got 10 bodies, that's going to drop, or 20 bodies, that's going to drop you down about 2 points. They keep falsely equivocating sexual market value with social market value. Her social market value might be an 8 or a 10, but her sexual market value is low, and they don't understand that. They just don't understand it. They don't understand it because they have not been taught to understand it. A woman like Minister Misty understands because that's what she was raised in. And that's why I want to do a show with you, Minister Misty. I want you to tell, I'm going to do another Gen X show. I'm going to do another Gen X show called Kosher Queens Gen X Reunites. It's going to be a good one. I'm working on some things, man. I got some things up my sleeve.
Generation X.
No. The percentage, there's 20% and up, men and women, that have done the work, that stand out. You put them in a room and you go like, they look good for their age. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the other 70 to 80% down low. I challenge every woman, pretend to be a man and go on a dating site and interact with women and see how you feel about women after that.
I already don't like women.
I know you don't. You got 3 sons. I know that. You are the anomaly. That's why we love you. But your sisters are delusional.
No, the reason I'm not saying I don't like women. Women get on my nerves because I coach women.
And what are you hearing? What are you hearing?
I think Lamar is being too nice to her. I think Lamar is being too. I think he's gassing her up. But masculine men that got standards, trust and believe they want something greater than that.
They want to fix the man instead of coming to work on themselves. So when I'm coaching, I tell them, I leave the man out of the equation. What about you? We're here to work on you, because when you are the best, highest version of yourself in a relationship, you're going to bring the best out in that man. And if the best doesn't come out of that man, you shouldn't be with him. But then there's this arguing back and forth. And I'm like, I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to tell you, be the best, highest version of yourself. And if I want
to dig into the argument. So they're arguing with you about becoming the best version of themselves and saying the men are the problem, the men don't want me, right? That's part of the delusion that we're talking about. It's not us, it's not me. It's this man over here.
It's not delusion. Okay, this is where we're going to correct the conversation. So we can take the title off of delusion and make it accountability. It's not delusion. It's I don't want to be accountable. for my part and what I need to fix before I'm even in a relationship. Because a lot of women come to me, and the ones whose marriages are thriving, because I've had women come to me whose husbands have cheated on them and have come to the realization that from working with me, not me telling them this, that I am part of the reason why my husband cheated, because I don't sleep with my husband. But coming in early into the sessions, they were arguing and blaming the man for cheating. And I'm like, cheating is a symptom of a bigger problem. There's something going on in your house that caused the cheating happen. There was something wrong before the cheating happened. And once we break that barrier and we start talking about the relationship dynamic, the conversation, do you compliment your husband? Are you sleeping with your husband? What are you expecting from your husband? When he comes home from work, is he happy to see you? When he walks through the door, are you complaining? Once we start to sit down and break it down piece by piece and get that accountability piece in there of cheating is a symptom of a bigger problem. Two people are responsible for the breakdown in the relationship, not just your husband, your boyfriend. You're responsible for some part of that. And when we got through to that, it was like, oh, yeah, well, sometimes when you come home, he works 14 hours and the house is not clean, or I'm tired. And I'm like, I'm going through menopause. And I'm like, you cannot cut your husband off from sex because you're going through menopause. Because if you do, he's going to go get sex from somewhere else. But nobody's supposed to cheat. No, you're not being realistic.
And that's why men want younger women. That's one of the reasons why men want a younger woman, if he's in good shape. Because some women are in good shape, it's going through perimenopause and menopause, and they don't have all the symptoms of it because they take care of themselves, but a lot of women don't. And, the guy said, okay, why would I get a woman that's going to do all these changes when I get me something young and tight? and it's just the way it is, man.
You're not being accountable for the fact that you're not sleeping with your husband and his needs are not being met. So if a man is in the desert long enough, he'll drink piss.
Yeah. Wow. All right, let's get back to a little bit more of this video here on that drinking piss.
Right.
He's thirsty.
Her garden is
He's 60. How she's got to be 65 now?
I'm looking it up right now. She's 70. If Jim Jones is 50.
Yeah, I mean, well, she probably had him. She's like 14, 15. She's a hood rat. She looks like it.
Okay, so let's say he's 50.
So let's just say she's 65 to 70. She's somewhere in there. He gonna get a hip broken or something. She ain't doing nothing that this young dude won't. And just because it's a season, this is no long term. He's looking at her like, buy me a PlayStation, buy me this, buy me that, take care of this. She is buying it because the roles are now reversed. Men don't have a problem paying because we've been paying for everything our whole life. So that's why we go get a younger girl, because you older women know that if I give you $300 to a 55-year-old, you'd be like, $300? I get $300 to a 25-year-old. That's a way different reaction. She ain't seen no money like that. So y'all not gonna win at this game. So this is just a season that some YNs is gonna jump up and down on y'all, and then y'all realize that they don't like y'all. Just as men understand, these young girls don't really like us, but we gotta pay to play.
Oh, let me just tell you, these YNs are gonna jump up and down on us. These YNs.
Well, that's a myth. That's not true. That's not true. That is not true. There are some younger women that really like older men. It just depends on the younger woman. It depends on her level of maturity. Some younger women like older, mature, seasoned men. So that's not true. That's an oversimplification of the process. There are some younger women that really like older men. I'm gonna play a little bit more of this, and then I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna end the stream because I gotta eat. My Carolina. You know what's so weird today, guys? So I went to North Carolina Central undergrad, and I went to Carolina grad school, and I struggled, man, because Central is a historically black college. That was always my first love, man. The blue collar in me always wanted to go to North Carolina Central, but the bougie in me always wanted to go to Carolina. And so I got the best of both. So, of course, I don't know. I probably would for Carolina over Central, though, because I know Central ain't. But if Central bring it out, I'm sort of torn. I'm more edgy towards Carolina than North Carolina Central, though. But I went to Central and Carolina, man, and both are great schools. Central is one of the top black schools in the country, and of course, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is a flagship school. It's an elite blue blood Southern Ivy League school, and I went to good schools, man. So we always said North Carolina Central, the sloping hills and the verdant greens, and then for the Tar Heels, we say Tar Heel bred. I'll be a Tar Heel until I'm dead. So, we always show love to the Tar Heels, man. Yeah, the Hornets playing tonight. Yeah, I got to check that out, free agent. I got to check that out. I'm going to play a little bit more of this, and I'm going to disprove on what she's talking about real quick.
Don't jump up and down on her. Because a lot of us, we don't even want to deal with that nonsense because we dealt with it with y'all. So, good evening, October. It's nice to see you.
I've seen a lot of it. I seen a little thing. I don't know if I sent it to you, but another chick, she's talking about the young YNs getting their BBLs and all this other stuff. Like, God, this is not a female are not built to do man things. And when you start doing these things and having sex and casually and doing things, it don't work out for y'all.
I just think that I have nothing against somebody dating somebody older or younger than them. I just think that there's a limit. And for a 70-year-old to be with a 30-year-old or 35-year-old, I think that's just ridiculous for a man or a woman. And I just feel like if this was a man, he would be being called all kinds of names. But since it's a woman, it's like,
power, go, you go, girl. But if it's a man that's 70 and the woman's 35, now he's controlling her. That's the double standard. So it's like these YNs are gonna have fun with some of these older women that've been alone for a long time and they're not getting chose. So if
somebody was saying he just got out of jail.
He's looking for a come up. It's like you know, it's like if you can't go, if whatever age you are, if you can't go 5 years up and 5 years down and find a companion, and you have to go outside of that, you're going to compromise yourself. And as long as you understand it, what the game is, that's why men are not afraid to play the game. Women paying for stuff and doing and getting treated like that, y'all not used to that. Y'all used to.
I wanted to kind of hone in on that. Do you?
All right, so I'm going to show you guys something. I think you guys are getting it. You say ego pride. No, man, it's ego pride amplified, man. Don't ever forget the Q Control 95. Ego pride amplified. Hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute. You know, I'm gonna flex. I'm gonna flex on Q. I'm gonna flex on Q95 for a minute. Hold on. Can I flex on you Q95? Hold on for a minute. Hold on.
Yeah. Shut up, Kosher. Yeah. Shut up. Whoa. Shut up, Kosher. Ballin'. Take it back.
Like it's game time. Locked in when it's game time. Yeah, I'm ballin'. Like it's game time. Locked in when it's game time. I put in work, couldn't wait for my bag coming. 3 whole years and these records keep running. Don't talk to me if you can't match the numbers. Ballin', like it's game time. Locked in when it's game time. Yeah, I'm ballin', like it's game time. Locked in when it's game time. I put in work, couldn't wait for mine.
Yeah. That's that NCCU Eagle Pride Amplified. I'll bring it to you live from the greatest state in the union, the Tar Heel State, man. That's how we do it, man. Don't ever stun on them Tar Heels and them North Carolina Central Eagles, man. Don't ever stun on them North Carolina Central Eagles, man. Don't ever stun on them Eagles, man. We 5-star recruits up in cheer. We 5-star recruits up in cheer. Not here, but cheer. 5-star recruits.
Do these older ladies feel as if they have to pay to be a part?
Lost straight now.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Yeah, everybody got to pay to play if you're going down. So, I mean, this is it. Go ahead, Trey.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Do I think that women have to pay to play?
Right, because we're talking about Jim Jones or his mother being 70, and now she has to pay. You know, there's always this joke in the red pill space about, you know, getting PlayStation 5s and whatever. There's a new game coming out, so I got to go get my sugar mama, right? So that type of talk.
I think that at that age, that big age difference, there's definitely the benefit for him, and especially if he's just getting out of jail or he comes from the hood and he hasn't had much. I think there's definitely a dynamic of knowing that that's Jim Jones' mother and that she's taking care of a certain way and that she can buy him belts, you know, LV belts, because they're in that lifestyle. Like they want Louis Vuitton pants and stuff like that. So why
all right. So I'm gonna stop this right here. I think you guys get the gist. I may come back and do the second part at 122, but I think you guys get the gist. But I'm gonna show you guys something real quick, and then we're gonna end it. Guys, do me a favor, show some love, support the channel, hit the like button. But I'm gonna show you guys this, and then I'm gonna end this stream. Because this woman said the 6 reasons why younger women like older men. And this is going to disprove everything that Trey is talking about. Because, of course, they're going to always try to mock and say, oh, they just want you for your money. They always think of the worst case scenario. So I got to be careful that I pause from time to time. But after this, guys, we're going to end it. But show some love, hit the like button, guys. I want y'all to listen to this.
If you're attracted to younger women but think you don't stand a chance because of your age, I am about to completely flip that script for you. Every older guy I coach and I talk to thinks his age is working against him. But here's what's actually happening. You're sitting on 6 powerful attraction triggers that younger guys simply cannot compete with. The problem isn't your age. It's that you're not leveraging the massive advantages that you already have. And once you know how to use them, you'll see exactly why younger women secretly prefer older men who know what they're doing. So in this video, I'll go over those 6 attractive older guy traits that younger women find irresistible and show you exactly how to use them to your advantage. If you're a guy who feels like, oh, you're too old to date a gorgeous young woman, or that she would never go for a guy like you over someone her age, I want you to watch this video carefully and really tap into these traits that you already possess. Because once you do, you'll see for yourself how younger women treat you and treat you like the prize.
We got a Cash App alert. We got a #1 sponsor to stream. Shout out to my brother, always showing love all the way from the West Coast. My man, shout out to my man, brother Ray Johnson. Shout out to Ray Johnson showing love. As he is the #1 sponsor of this stream. Ray Johnson, this goes out to you, brother. I appreciate it.
It's the money.
Brother Ray Johnson. He's the #1 sponsor to stream in the house tonight. I appreciate it, Brother Ray Johnson. Thank you once again, brother. And guys, once again, guys, thank you for the support. Guys, as I told you guys, StreamYard is about $500 a year now. Some plans are close to $800. So if you guys like what I'm doing, show some love. Y'all won't believe it. I'll show it to you. You got the core plan, the advanced plan. I'm temporarily checking out the advanced plan, but StreamYard is expensive. It went from like $224 to almost $500 a year. So if you guys like what I'm doing, show some love. Thank you.
With that said, let's dive in. My name is Marnie, and from here on out, I'm going to be your very own personal wing girl. And every week, I'll give you the no BS insider info about what women really want versus what they're telling you they want, plus the most effective methods to win over any woman you like. So just hit that subscribe button now, down below, so you never miss a video. All right, let's get started. Here are the 6 older guy traits that women find absolutely irresistible. Number 1, acting with calm confidence. Younger women often see older men as more grounded, and his calm energy is magnetic. Unlike younger guys who can be jittery, loud, or overly eager, older men who stay composed signal.
Now y'all see how this woman adds nuance to the conversation. Listen to how she adds nuance. She adds nuance to the conversation versus the other ones coming from a place of scarcity.
Security. From a female perspective, that calmness feels safe and very attractive. It shows you've been through life, you don't need to prove yourself, and you're comfortable in your own skin. For instance, instead of nervously cracking jokes or talking too fast on a date, you take your time, you make steady eye contact, and you speak with ease. That sense of control is rare in younger men.
We got a #1 sponsor, man. We got Minister Misty in the house. She's outdoing the brothers. Shout out to Minister Misty. As Minister Misty is the #1 sponsor of this stream. Shout out to Minister Misty showing love. I don't know where Minister Misty is from. Minister Misty, shout out to Minister Misty. And she's the #1 sponsor of the stream. Thank you, dear, for showing love. Shout out to Minister Misty, and she's the #1 sponsor. Hit that like button. Go ahead, do it now before I reach out into that screen and twist your hand like Aunt Esther. Hit the like button. Thank you. Destroy. Shout out to Minister Misty, Minister Misty for the $20 super chat. She's the #1 sponsor of the stream. Shout out to that dear sister. Shout out to Minister Misty for showing love. She's the #1 sponsor. Thank you, dear. Thank you for showing love. Let's get back into it, guys, and we're going to end it at some point because I got to eat, and I'm about to see my Tar Heels play the University of North Carolina at Central. All right?
It's one of the first things that draws women to older men. Now, I know that projecting this kind of calm confidence consistently can be challenging, especially when you want to make sure you're operating at peak levels of confidence and energy, which is why I want to tell you about today's video sponsor. It is Joy Mode's Joy Mode's Testosterone Support Complex. Joy Mode's Testosterone Support Complex is a all-natural powerhouse designed to help you reclaim your energy, your confidence, and edge so you can crush your day, your workouts, your dating life, your sex life, and whatever life throws your way. Testosterone isn't just about muscle mass or libido. It's the fuel behind your energy, your stamina, and your overall vitality. If you've been feeling off your game, this is your chance to take control and give your body the support that it actually deserves. So it's packed with clinically nature's best tools to recovery. There's no prescriptions. There's no Joy Mode's testimony. Check of when a man know who you are. Women find that deeply attractive because it shows leadership and direction. For example, when you say things like, I'm training for a marathon next week, or I'm focused on building my career in real estate, she sees it as stability and vision. Right. Younger guys often don't have that.
And once again, if you're an older man and you're not taking care of a younger woman, you're robbing that woman of her youth. As a man, you have a moral responsibility to take care of your woman. If you got a younger woman, low by, like my daughter, I consider her a 5-star chick. My daughter was raised I raised my daughter to give a man the best experience possible. All my girls were raised that way. And even though me and my oldest daughter, sometimes we clash, I love her, but my oldest daughter, even though that her dad ain't gonna back down. So I don't know why she tried, because she know I'm not. You're better off disrespecting me, because the more you get slick with your mouth, I'm gonna get more aggressive. The way you get me is by being respectful, but the more aggressive you get. But the way I raise my girls to value themselves, so that when they get married, that man can have a quality experience. But that man got to be available. That man got to be able to take care of my daughters. I don't want no dusted Negroes not taking care of my girls, because you didn't get a dusted woman. So you got to make sure you're a quality man if you're going to be around my daughters. And if a man can't understand that, then I don't personally care. You didn't get nothing in quality. You got to treat her like the great woman that she is.
Yeah, which makes this habit even more irresistible. Number 3, speaking with depth and clarity. Older men who speak thoughtfully, they stand out immediately. Instead of filling silence with fluff, they choose words carefully and make conversations feel richer. Women, especially younger women, often crave deeper talks, not just gossip or surface level talk. When you can share a perspective about travel, culture, or even life lessons with clarity, it pulls her in. For example, let's say you're telling her about your recent trip to Italy. Or even to Utah, or even like your trip down to the convenience store. Instead of saying, yeah, Italy was cool, I had a great time there, right? You say, when I was in Florence, I realized how differently Italians live. They prioritize long dinners, family, and slowing down. It makes me rethink how I use my time and how I want to spend my life. That depth is incredibly attractive because it feels like she's learning from you. You're leading. Number 4, showing emotional composure. One of the biggest differences between older guys and younger guys is emotional composure. Younger women are tired of guys who lose their cool over small things. That's why.
And see, it's something special about an older Gen X man. See, Gen X men, we knew how to court women. Gen X men, of course you have some guys that were out here running through women, but Gen X men knew how to court women. We knew how to date them. We knew how to show them love. We knew how to respect them. We're from the generation, I think we were the last generation of men that used to serenade women. But women back then were better. They weren't perfect. They were still doing dirt back then too. They were just more discreet with it, but they were still better than women now. And when you got an older man that came from a generation where men were romantic, that's very attractive to a woman.
A mature older man who stays calm during conflict, who can listen and respond instead of reacting impulsively and emotionally, is irresistible. From her perspective, it feels like she can lean on you, be safe around you. For example, imagine she's running late and apologizes nervously. Instead of snapping, you just smile and say, no worries, I ordered us some drinks, come over to the bar. That kind of composure makes her feel safe and understood, which makes you stand out immediately, especially over younger guys who can't do that. Number 5, leading decisively. I've said it a million times on this channel, and I'll say it again. Women love when a man takes the lead. Women are reactors. They love men who are not bossy, who are not controlling, who are decisive, and he knows what he wants and what he believes is right, and he goes for it without hesitation. That is incredibly sexy. Older men often shine here because they've had practice making decisions. From a woman's perspective, it's refreshing not to always be the one deciding. For example, when you say, there's a great little wine bar I know, let's go there after dinner. It's attractive because it feels like you're guiding the experience. You have a say and you're participating. You're taking charge while she can relax and follow your lead and be feminine. That's what women want. Younger guys often hesitate, they second guess. Not all of them, but a lot of them. They ask themselves, so what do you want to do? Or where do you want to go? Women can pick up on that self-doubt and indecisiveness, and it sadly turns us off. I hate that it does, but it does. We want you to lead us, not the other way around. Number 6, listening with genuine interest. One of the sexiest habits older men often develop is truly listening. Younger women are so used to guys interrupting, checking their phones, or waiting for their turn to talk. When you actually lean in, make eye contact.
How many of you guys agree with what she's saying briefly? How many of you guys agree with what she's saying? How many of you guys agree fundamentally with what she's saying? How many agree with what she's saying? Do you guys find that to be true? Hit 1. We're going to end this soon, guys, because Kosher got to eat, and it's getting late, and I need to relax. I want you guys to hit 1.
Contact and remember little details, she says. It feels incredible. From her perspective, it makes her feel seen and valued. For example, if she mentioned her favorite coffee order last week and you surprise her with it next time that you hang out, that small act shows attentiveness. It shows that you actually listen to her genuine interest. That's rare, that's attractive, and it makes a lasting impression on her. So with all of that said, the bottom line is this. Older men are hot. All of these traits have a magnetic effect on younger women. They give you a big upper hand in dating that most guys don't even realize. If you start tapping into these traits more, even a few of them, you'll immediately notice how younger women start to treat you differently and see you differently in how you see yourself. And if you need a little help, extra help to build that attraction so that she's practically begging you to take her, I've got something that you're absolutely going to love.
All right, so I think that's going to be it, guys. What did y'all think about the show? What do you guys fundamentally agree with? Did you guys enjoy the show? And shout out to Minister Misty. She's the #1 sponsor, man. Y'all let Minister Misty outdo y'all, man. Y'all let Minister Misty outdo y'all, man. But shout out to Minister Misty for showing love. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. And guys, we're gonna end the stream in a minute. But once again, to the older men that are listening, it gets better with time. It gets better with time if you, #1, know what your value is, know what your worth is, demand better, don't allow anybody to shame you. It gets better with time. Listen, if you guys need a private consultation, come see me at kosherclinician@gmail.com. Come see me at kosherclinician@gmail.com. And guys, as you all know, I did change my banner. I'm working on some new innovative stuff. It's extremely hard trying to do it when you're a therapist, man. It's hard when you work. But I'm about to get off this thing. I need to start cutting these streams down to about an hour, because it's just too much. It is too much, guys. Well, I hope you guys like my new banner. This is my whole type. This is my new kosher banner. And I hope you guys like that. I hope you guys enjoy it. I put a lot of work into it. And that's me. It's clean. It's professional looking. And yeah, that's what I call digital kosher. It's that kosher swag, that kosher je ne sais quoi. And what I'm gonna be working on my channel banner will be masculinity, relationships, world events, reactions. That's what this channel is gonna start trying to focus on moving forward. And I like where it's going at. So guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Yeah, shout out to Minister Misty. I'll watch her. She makes good points, no doubt. You weren't paying attention, Minister Misty. Well, at least you're honest. The grown woman would rather thick and back be a little wide. Charlotte mixes up. Yeah, they got some big backs here in North Carolina too, especially the country. We had to do a North Carolina. So yeah, we'll definitely do that, brother. And once again, Minister Misty, I appreciate it, dear. Thank you for being so kind. But anyway, guys, we're going to end it here. I hope you guys liked the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we're going to end this thing here, guys. We're going to end it. We're going to end it. And thank you guys for tapping in. And I hope you guys like the new banner. You guys like it? I hope y'all like it, man. But we're going to end it here. Thank you.
When my friends go, it was simple. When the ends low, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, then I strike. I go hard day and night, yeah. I go hard day and night. 1 to 1, no surprise. See the hate in their eyes. My brothers blood money bleed. I got the game in the squeeze. What would you do for some green? What would you do for some blues? Go pick and choose the family the cheese. Some people not built like that. Some people get killed like that. Pressure like water, lights, mortgage, I'm paying that bills like that. Now I got kids like that. No wonder why I feel like that. Some people go to war for nothing. Me, I go to war for something.
Before there was the manosphere, I was. Before there was the internet, I was.
When the end's low, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, then I strike. I go hard day and night. Money on the line, keep calling. Money on the books, need all that. My kids, they'll be ballin'. Got a real bankroll, not for Instagram. My mama on the line, keep calling. Praying for me, know I need all that. Told me it's not about ballin'. Real blessed, but I'm still sinning, man. What would you do for a win? What would you do for your friends? What if this life is a foe? What if it all pretend? What if you wrote to the end? What if you started again?
Fire! The Kosher Clinician. Guys, we're about to end it here. 13 minutes after the hour, 9 o'clock, bring it to you live from the great state of the Union, the Tar Heel State. Guys, we're about to sign off. It's been another classic show of the Kosher Clinician. While so many women 50 plus are delusional about modern dating, what say you? Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you to the #1 sponsor and Minister Missy. And guys, we're signing off. Bringing it to you live once again from the greatest state in the Union, the Tar Heel State, where the topography is serene, pristine, and verdant green, where every day is Father's Day, and where manhood is part of hills and valleys, victories and failures, and whereas men, we don't agree on all things or ideologies, but tonight we come together as allies of a common cause, only to dissipate once the crisis is over. Now listen, I'm about to drop some fire for your mind. But before I drop that fire, let's explore why we are doing the Manhood Chronicle.